Hallows Eve, a night for more. Two Scottish clubs in scary form. United and Hearts, their ambitions are high, but recent results would make a banshee cry.
Well, that's a bit of a mix-up, and that is a total disaster for the United defence.
Dundee United have conceded 4, and problems are mounting for them.
Danny Ratchie with a free kick. Jamie McDonald didn't deal with it, and it's Killian Sheridan. And this is what the Hearts fans make of it all this afternoon. Not happy one bit. Agony for Hearts.
League Cup success could ease despair, so enter, won't you, if you dare.
On Halloween, there is no masking the importance of tonight's League Cup quarter-final here at Tannadice. Both Dundee United and Hearts are in the bottom half of the SPL, and a place in the last 4 of this competition would give both a big lift. With Pat Nevin and myself in the studio here is Scotland manager Craig Levein. Lots of debate at the moment about your future. What's your understanding about what's going on?
Well, firstly, I'm hugely proud to be the manager of Scotland, and I want to continue to do the job. I had a chat with Stuart and Campbell earlier in the week, and I believe I will find out one way or another sort of beginning of next week. Yeah,
we understand there's a meeting of the Scottish FA board tomorrow. Do you feel you're being kept up to speed with what's going on?
I have absolutely no problem with that at all. You know, I had a chat with both of the guys, as I said, and they assured me that a decision will be made before. See, we announced the squad for Luxembourg on Tuesday, so I think before that happens, then there'll be a decision made.
And would you expect to continue in the job?
Yeah, I very much hope so, yeah.
I get the feeling you don't want to speak about it anymore.
Here to watch a game of football.
Let's get the teams then here at Tannadice. Billy Dodds up in the commentary gantry with Liam McLeod.
Yeah, Rob, a very intriguing looking cup tie between Dundee United and Hearts tonight here at Tannadice, isn't it? And we did wonder about Rudy Scatchell, of course, legend down Gorgie Way, scored in 2 Scottish Cup finals for Hearts. Now, of course, with Dundee United, would he start? He doesn't. And the headline news, I suppose, for Dundee United is among the substitutes, because they've got Gary Mackay-Stephen back on the bench as well after knee surgery. So great news as far as the United faithful are concerned. Remember, both teams have been up and down this campaign so far. Hearts have had some good results, and their best one probably came here in a 3-0 victory. Callum Patterson scoring a couple that day. We'll get to the visitors in a moment, but as far as United are concerned, Billy, John McGlynn, the manager, resisting the temptation to start Scatchell.
Yeah, I didn't fancy him to start. I must admit, he's not had enough game time for me, so I think I have a part to play in the game. But United, they go with their back four. Daly again finds himself in there. The midfield, Richie Ryan sits, and that allows Michael Gardine, Willow Flood, Rankin and Stuart Armstrong all to get forward and support Johnny Russell.
As for the Jambos, would they go 4-5-1? It looks like Dundee United may be starting off like that, but would Hearts match up? Well, looking at the team, they've decided to go with 2 up front. Callum Patterson, I mentioned, scored the 2 at Tannadice, joined by John Sutton up front. Sutton, of course, scored the late equaliser against Ross County in the league at the weekend.
Gets him a start, and I think they didn't want to play him up front on his own, didn't want to leave him isolated, not the most mobile, but can certainly get goals. But that's why they've stuck Callum Patterson up alongside him. We know about their strong back 4, Granger, Zalukis, Webster and McGowan, and the natural width comes from Novikovas on that left-hand side.
Both these clubs know what it's like to win trophies in recent times as well. Who will get the 3rd place in the semi-finals of the Scottish Communities League Cup? I've got a funny feeling this might be a long night.
OK, stand by for that then. Thanks, Liam and Billy. Craig, does Peter Houston wish he had 2 John Dalys, one he could play at the back and one up front?
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? It's a big decision to take John out the front line, because I feel not only does he provide that strength and physical presence that hurts the opposition, I think he's a great aid to the other forward-thinking players. So, but Houston's had a problem at centre back, and they were losing goals, and I think first and foremost they needed to shore things up. So that's what he's done, and I believe that John Daly has been excellent in the last couple of matches. And with Hearts playing 2 up front with Sutton and Patterson, I think he's going to have to be excellent tonight as well.
And when we look at that Hearts formation, Pat, does that make us think that John McGlynn's team will maybe play back to front with 2 strikers?
Well, back to front incredibly positively. I mean, I'm looking at that team, and Stevenson, Patterson, Sutton, Novikovas and Taul are all kind of attack-minded players, so that's an attack-minded team. They're set out in a 4-4-2 anyway, so I think John's coming up here tonight saying to himself, I'd like to get out here, 90 minutes and be through to the next round. I think it's very, very positive, whereas you look at Dundee United, it's Johnny Russell's show. You know, you're expecting Johnny Russell to be the guy that does it for them as much as anyone else. Obviously Garden and Armstrong can get forward as well, but maybe really demanding a lot from Johnny Russell today.
It's been a mixed bag of results for Dundee United so far this season. 3 of each so far in the league, although a point behind Hearts. It should be stressed they have 2 extra games to play. Pat mentioned Johnny Russell. He really roared out of the blocks at the start of the season, and it seems to me, Craig, that when Dundee United play well, it usually coincides with Johnny Russell playing well. Yeah,
I mean, he's an extremely talented boy, and he's improved enormously in the last couple of seasons. He's a man now, actually. He's not a kid anymore, you know. So, but his finishing's improved. I think his composure has improved enormously, and that just comes with playing matches, doesn't it? So, yeah, I mean, if he plays well tonight, the centre backs that you know, the Hearts centre backs are going to have to be on their guard for sure.
They won their first 2 league games of the season, Pat, by 3-0, and everyone was confidently saying Dundee United are going to finish second behind Celtic at the end of the season. Their next league win after that was last Saturday.
Yeah, and it's maybe no great surprise because obviously they've lost a lot of players and they're so dependent on those few players, and when you have to move Daly back, that's a big problem for them. Actually watching Russell there, do you know that first goal, his first touch for that first goal was absolutely top draw. I mean, if you get any of your Eden Hazards, etc., down south doing that, you know, you're cooing about it all the time. It's a great touch.
It was John Daly that headed the ball down to him, wasn't it? You know, so. I mean,
does that not change their system a little bit now? They can't really play back to front the way they would have done with John now. So it's a very different style they have to play. So the style's changed as well.
Yeah, well, Husti's, you know, he's had a few problems, and when the squad gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and you lose players, you know, important players like they lost last season. But of course, Mackay Stephen was one of the revelations of Scottish football last season, and Husti hasn't had him this year. He's been injured, so he's back on the bench tonight. I'm sure that that's a huge plus for them. But yeah, they do miss that opportunity to put the ball forward early if John Daly's not playing. And I'm not saying it's hampered Johnny Russell at all, but I do feel that he's better playing with John around the ball.
As a Hibs fan, Pat, you'll be delighted that Rudy Scatchell has the numbers 5 and 1 on the back of his new Dundee United jersey. This, of course, was his last outing as a Hearts player. 2 goals in the cup final. Do you remember this one? Do you remember this game?
What a fantastic day! What a fantastic and memorable cup final. I'm talking about the Champions League final later that night, not this one. No, he's different class. I mean, he's a great goal scorer. What a lift he will give United. He's not playing at the start of the game here, but he's got to come on at some point. If they need him, they will bring him on because he can do so much coming from that deep area. It's just over the last few years when he's been playing in Scottish football, he's been one of the hardest guys to pick up. Period. Doesn't matter who you play for, he's been one of the best finishers.
Could be a really big boost for United tonight, the fact that he's on the bench champing at the bit to get on, and Gary Mackay-Stephen as well. Yeah,
and I'm just wondering how John McGlynn's feeling. You know, he's you know, he's come into the club, and I think he knew there would be problems even when he arrived. But the financial problems that have struck Hearts since his arrival have made it doubly difficult. And I'm sure he would be desperate to have Rudy Scatchell wearing a Hearts jersey tonight. And he'll look along at the dugout next to his, and he'll see Rudy Scatchell sitting there, and he will be worried that at some point he can come on and make a big impact in the game.
Watching Hearts is always a case of tales of the unexpected, as borne out by the statistics in the league this season. Bottom half of the table, they expect better, but they do have the boost coming here, the psychology going into this one of knowing that the last time they were here, they won 3-0.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you go away from, is this their only away from home win this season? So I mean, Novikovas, I'm a big fan of. You notice all these players that are coming in from the left-hand side. It's the same with Johnny Russell. They always seem to be able to hit the ball, can't they, when they get it onto the left-hand side? And he's another guy. If you've got sort of players from the wide areas that can actually come in and score and cause you problems there, and obviously he's going to get down the line a few times and put balls into the lads up front as well. So you can see that they've got quality in the right areas. it does help when you're playing against some of the worst defending you've seen for years. The defending that was actually hilarious.
Maybe that's why John Daly's back at centre back.
Yeah, that possibly answers that one. Let's hear from the two managers pre-match with Jonathan Seller and John McGlynn. And firstly, Peter Houston.
Well, Peter, Hearts are once again here at Tannadice. Last time they were here, of course, they ran out 3-0 winners. How do you hope to avoid that today?
Well, certainly we'll avoid it by better form. You know, we were far too open that day. We played two up front, two wide players as well. And the middle part was open. You know, Hearts play a system, they play it very well. And we have to counteract that by playing a system that's more difficult for us, for them to penetrate us. And I think that's what happened. 2 goals in 2 minutes sort of ended the game as far as we're concerned. However, we'll be a wee bit more tighter in the middle of the part tonight. And if we play like we have done over the last couple of games and get the same type of results, I'll be delighted. And a bit of spice perhaps in the second half with Rudy Scatchell, the Jambo legend, of course, perhaps coming off the bench for Dundee United. It'll be interesting. Well, it depends how the game's going. You know, I've got Gary Mackay-Stevens, which excites me even more. The fact that we've got that young lad back. He's an exceptional talent. He's fully back from injury. And if we get half an hour out of both of them, we certainly get a good talent on the park. Good luck tonight, Peter. Thank you. John, you took your Hearts team up here last month and you came away with a 3-0 victory. You just have to do the same again tonight.
Yeah, it sounds very simple, yeah. I'm sure Dundee United's got something to say about that and they'll be trying to make sure it's not the same tonight. However, you know, I'll settle for a 1-goal victory tonight would do me fine as long as we can get into the semi-final. It's a massive chance for us to get back into semi-finals and possibly finals. A lot of the lads were there in May in the Scottish Cup final. And it gives an opportunity for some of the lads who maybe didn't make that team to make a name for themselves. Strange to see Rudy Scatchell in an opposing team? Yeah, well, he can stay on the bench for as long as he wants to. In fact, 90 minutes, even 120 minutes, he can stay on that bench, or the longer or the better. John, good luck tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Craig, you pretty much vacated Tynecastle as Mr. Romanov was moving in and taking control. John McGlynn is certainly not naive. He knew what he was getting into, didn't he? And Hearts at the moment making public their big financial issues.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for John because he did a great job for Hearts. He was a caretaker manager on a couple of occasions previously before he went to Raith Rovers. He did a fantastic job at Raith Rovers, and this would, this might be the job of his dreams, but it's almost, working in a situation where your hands are tied behind your back. The difficulty of being able to bring the players in that you want is a previous problem for other managers, and John knew he was going to have that. But what he didn't know was the extent of the financial problems. And I feel for the Hearts supporters, I really do. I mean, they've been so loyal following their club, and they just find themselves again in the sort of centre of attention for all the wrong reasons.
Does it have much of an impact on what happens on the pitch?
Hugely, yeah. I mean, how previous managers have managed to deal with players not getting paid. I mean, that's any workplace. If you don't get your wages at the end of the week,
it's a basic, isn't it?
You don't feel valued. So it's extremely difficult. And then for John, on top of that, to keep things going, I believe he didn't get paid for 2 or 3 months as well, and I really do feel for him, and it's just a desperate situation.
Is it written in the script tonight, Pat, that Rudy Scatchell will step off the bench in the second half and score the winning goal? It
depends how fit he is, but to be fair, how many times has it happened before? And it would be the ultimate nightmare for Hearts fans. I mean, how would they feel? But I don't think it'll ever. It took the words out of my mouth there. I don't think they'll ever turn on that man for what he done to that club. So. And it's nice to get a wee chance to say goodbye to him, but they might get a little bit miffed to him if he does score more than 1 goal tonight and knocks him out of the cup.
It could be a fright night, certainly for one of these teams, and a big night for the winners, Craig, because it can change the face of their season. Both will feel a little down on their luck at the moment in terms of where they are in the league, how the results have been going, up and down, I guess, for both. But if you're suddenly in the semi-finals of a national club competition, it's a big deal. Yeah,
it's huge for both managers, definitely. I mean, and for the feel-good factor as well. Hearts, the problems that Hearts have got just now that are so apparent. I mean, it would be a huge boost for them to win this game tonight. But of course, Dundee United started the season particularly well, had a few problems injury-wise, and they're struggling to get back on track again. So although this isn't, it's not a do-or-die situation, I think that what both teams would get out of a victory in this occasion would be enormous for them going back into the league fixtures.
Yeah. It's the relationship, Pat, as well between Peter Houston and Stephen Thompson here at Tannadice sometimes appears strained as well. And it would be a big result for Peter tonight if United can get through.
Oddly, what Craig was saying there, you know, as a manager, your hands stand behind your back, but in Scottish football, which manager hasn't at the moment? I mean, possibly the exception of Neil Lennon. Just about every manager to some extent has got his hands tied behind his back because he's lost players from last season. So similar, they're all in, you know, in the same sort of boat. And if you can get to a cup final, you know, what a difference it makes, not only to your season, but to your CV in the widest sense, and the fans will be behind you forever after that if you can get to a cup final and win it.
It's Dundee United against Hearts for a place in the League Cup semi-finals. Your commentators Billy Dodds and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Rob. Good evening. A clash of two clubs who know what it's like to win silverware in recent times, but two clubs who have been unable to make the impression on this competition that they would have liked. United did reach the final in 2008, heartbreakingly, losing to Rangers on penalties. You have to go back even further for a Hearts appearance in the final of this competition. That was a 4-3 loss to Rangers in 1996. It has been an up and down opening quarter of the league season for both. United have just started clicking back into gear, winning for the first time since August on Saturday in their 1-0 win at St Mirren, though they are notoriously slow starters. Hearts have also found a wee bit of form, though they did need a late equaliser to rescue a point at home to Ross County at the weekend. Well, John Daly, who's leading Dundee United out, skipper, normally finds himself in the opposing box. He's been Dundee United's top scorer for a while now. It's in the past couple of seasons, but he is having to continue in defence. Stephen Thompson, the Dundee United chairman, well wrapped up. It is a cold night on Tayside. And John McGlynn in his first season as Hearts manager outright, as the guys were mentioning, Craig Levine mentioning beforehand, he did have a couple of caretaker spells a few years back before going to Wraith Rovers, where he made a very good impression. Well, Peter Houston would probably call that a 4-3-3. John Daly has been brilliant at scoring goals for Dundee United, as I mentioned there, but he has been very good in defence, and that's where he continues. Top scorer Johnny Russell, ably supported in the wide areas by Gardine and Armstrong. John Sutton's back in for Hearts, scored the late equaliser against the Staggies at Tynecastle on Saturday. He partners Callum Patterson, who scored twice here last month. Andrew Driver drops out of the starting lineup. Gary Mackay-Stephen back from knee surgery on the Dundee United bench alongside Hearts legend Rudy Scatchell. Peter Houston resisting the temptation to bring him in from the start, unlike John McGlynn, who I mentioned before. He's such a Hearts legend, Rudy Scatchell. It's difficult to contemplate him playing for another team, but that is what he does potentially at some point tonight. Andrew Driver on the bench for Hearts. Dylan McGowan, Ryan McGowan's brother, also among the subs. Callum Murray's the ref. 45 years old, took charge of the Scottish Cup final between Celtic and Motherwell a year past May. He'll no doubt have an eye in one of this season's showpieces as well. So will the two managers, and they can take a big stride towards that with a victory tonight. So Gary Locke, the first team coach for Hearts, is shaking hands with Peter Houston, of course. Played under him. Seems like an eternity ago now, as Hearts get this Scottish Communities League Cup quarter-final underway, the third match in this stage of the competition this week to get started. The Rangers match against Inverness also on tonight, kicking off in half an hour. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening there. And of course, St Mirren already through, Celtic already through. Celtic beating St Johnstone, and the Paisley side going up to Pittodrie and winning on penalty kicks as Webster looks for Sutton. Novi Kovas trying to get his eye in early on, the Lithuanian.
Yeah, good start for Hearts, just a nice ball up, well weighted ball there, you see it from Webster, a lot of time on the ball. Webster knocked down by Sutton, a little touch. Novi Kovas, he finds himself coming in the pitch. Watched the game last night, Celtic Park, Chris Collins doing the same. Novi Kovas won't stay out wide all the time, and you see there, when he comes in, gets into a good area, but drags that one wide.
Callum Patterson got a couple here, but it was Arvidas Novi Kovas who got the other goal for Hearts in that 3-0 victory. Hearts only away success so far this campaign. Russell tees it up for Armstrong. Russell again. Armstrong continuing his run. Lucas is there. Gunning. Fullback in recent times. Armstrong. He's got the free kick. Hearts fans right on top of that incident weren't impressed with the decision. But it has gone their way in the end. Stuart Armstrong and Mehdi Taoul coming together.
I think you just see that Mehdi Taoul's not the best tackler in the game.
Webster was lifted the Scottish Cup in that loan spell here a couple of years back.
I think so far the match United are content to sit in. Webster had it a couple of times, and I would like to see a little bit more pressure on him because he is getting time to just wait his pass into John Sutton. That one overhit, but you saw what happened with the first one. It was weighted up to him, and Novakovas got the shot off.
It's such a good season here. He's a Dundonian, local guy, Andy Webster. He led United to silverware. First part of Hearts' Scottish Cup winning squad from last season. Zalukis. McGowan. Scorer in that Hampden final. Hearts 4th. Has been an up and down seesaw start to the season for both teams. Peter Houston and John McGlynn perhaps hoping for better starts to the league campaign. A place in the semi-finals of this competition can really kick you on. Barr. Anderson. It's kept in by McGowan. He's got the free kick as well. Late from Richie Ryan.
Did ever so well, McGowan. Overhit pass from Callum Patterson, and gets a stretch on a yellow card getting produced as well for Richie Ryan, but McGowan did well, kept it in, and then he was on a stretch but got there first as well. You can see there.
Yeah, he's quite a combative player, is Richie Ryan, so that's a very early yellow card for him, and he just sits in the middle of that Dundee United midfield.
He's only got just come up to 86 minutes to go now, without committing to another challenge like that.
Opportunity for Hearts to flood that Dundee United penalty area. Granger over it. Zalukis is up for it, Webster as well. Granger does have a good left foot on him. It's Ryan who gave it away, who gets it away. Well, McGowan's going to try and get the long throw into the penalty area here. Gardyne trying to shepherd Novakovas in your picture as McGowan bowls it into the penalty area. Gunning beats Sutton, but it is a corner kick. The first of the match, and it goes to the visitors.
Well, they have got the height, and any time that Webster's got the ball at the back under no pressure, or they get a set piece, they're going to bombard them, and then they even get the long throw in from McGowan there, and eventually it leads to their first corner. So Hearts certainly capable at set pieces.
Stevenson takes, but it's poor.
On cue. I mean, they need better delivery than that. We're saying that they've got good height, their team, they'll be wanting quality balls in there to let the big guys like Zalukis, Webster, McGowan, Stevenson all get up there, Sutton, Patterson. You can go through the full team, but when this happens, really poor.
Well, despite the fact Hearts won here so convincingly last month, you do sense, Billy, it's going to be quite a tight cup tie.
Well, if you were running to the bookies to put on a bet, I don't think you'd be strongly fancying one of the teams. I mean, it is going to be tight. I agreed with you at the start of the programme where I think it could be a long night. You wouldn't put it past it to be extra time and penalties.
Novakovas pocketed flood. It's Gardyne back for Dundee United. Armstrong, and now Gunning. He's had a wee look up there, he spotted Gardyne. Russell's further out to the right. In the stretch though was Danny Granger.
I'm interested to see. I'm looking at John Sutton or Callum Patterson. Right now it's Sutton, Drottman, Richie Ryan. It was interesting to see how, when Hearts never had the ball, they were going to handle the extra man that United have in midfield. It's just one of the strikers popping himself off. When Hearts have the ball, no problem. Can use both full-backs if they want to go forward and make it 6v5 in there.
Offside flag against Stuart Armstrong. Try to bend his run back.
Tight one though. Just a fraction off.
Flood beat Sutton to it, that's Towell. And again the Moroccan. Webster. Pinged out for Novi Kovas. There's a bit too much on it for him. He's taking on the job in difficult circumstances, John McGlynn, replacing Hearts Scottish Cup winning manager Paolo Sergio. But he knows the club inside out, and that's got to help. As is the man on the right there, Rudy Scatchell. The Hearts fans were singing his name when he was warming up before.
Not a bad two to bring on if you're in trouble.
Yeah, Gary Mackay-Stephen beside him. Daly. Chersniak holds on, but Callum Patterson took a dunt in the head. John Daly, who Peter Houston admitted he's his best striker, certainly as far as goal poacher is concerned, but he's also been his best defender. So he's got to keep playing him in defence just now. And Johnny Russell isn't bad up the other end anyway.
Yeah, well, Craig and Pat were talking about it. It's better if Daly's up there, holding it up, being a presence for Russell, but needs must just now. He's back there, and especially in this game, because I don't think they're the tallest team. Boys might pick up in that half time, but you just see United, if you look along them, maybe just Daly gunning with great height. Yeah, Watson's not bad, and Dillon as well, but apart from that, not the tallest United.
Webster. Towell loads of space for Danny Granger out on the left-hand side. He's still on his own. Eventually he does get it. Granger, former Dundee United player, it's headed away by Daly. Novi Kovas. How good was that? Just outside the penalty area for Stevenson and Novi Kovas. And there's a goal kick. He looks in the mood, Arvidas Novi Kovas.
It's a lovely turn, and he's given United a problem, because, I mean, that's just great technique. Watch that all day long. And eventually, as a strike, must just hit it off his own player, which he does, Ryan Stevenson, because you can see it clearly took the deflection, but lovely bit of skill from Novi Kovas at the top of his game just now. But he's also given him a problem by coming in the pitch as well, Liam. He's not just staying there, so very capable. A little bit, as I said, like Chris Commons last night.
Slip by Daly, Novi Kovas. Couldn't take advantage of the Daly slip. Ryan, Flood. Now Gardine. That's the first real opportunity for Keith Watson to get into an attacking position against Granger. Trying to get himself in between the two. Eventually Darren Barr did enough. It's clever by Towell. Even under pressure there, he's managed to feed in Patterson. Sutton to his right, away in this near side is Ryan Stevenson. Eventually he gets it. Eddie Towell. Novi Kovas. Seen lots of the ball in the early stages, and it's punched away by Chersniak. That was fizzed in by Novi Kovas.
He's been the top man so far, as I said, coming in and playing nice passes, but there we see in that wide area just whips into a great area with a lot of pace. And keeper Chersniak's got to deal with it, because Hearts had players in there and around the 6-yard box, but keeper gets there first.
Watson with a header there, preventing it getting back to Novi Kovas. Russell goes down and gets the free kick off Zaliukas. Radislav Czerniak called into action there with the Novi Kovas ball in.
You can see Patterson make the front post maybe just a little bit close to the goalkeeper, but certainly 6-yard box with that pace. Gave Czerniak a problem. I thought he handled it pretty well with Callum Patterson rushing in on him.
On ball from Watson. It's won by Gunning. Webster is there. Stevenson. Sutton hauls it out of the Dundee sky. He couldn't find a teammate. Sean Dillon. Rankin. And now Gavin Gunning. Well, Jamie McDonald's going to try and prevent the corner, but he couldn't. United's first of the evening.
Yeah, it's the best piece of play United so far in the match. I feel as if maybe they're just sitting off Hearts a little bit. Hearts will be pretty happy. First 11 minutes, 12 minutes or so just dictate the play, but when United did get it in that occasion, couple of passes, eventually there to Gunning, but gets the corner.
Which will be taken by Willow Flood. Daly, one of those awaiting in the middle. Knows the target. Zoyuk is sticking to him, but it does drop to Daly.
Is it hard? When I think Zoyuk takes a chance here, once the first header's won, look at him, he gets wrong side, he's trying to steal in there. That's dangerous because if Daly gets that shot on target, could score, but Zoyuk just gets wrong side, maybe just stay behind Daly, usher him out the way. Chooses to gamble, but luckily for him that Daly didn't hit the target.
He scored 59 goals for Dundee United. John Daly's got a couple this season against Hibs and Kilmarnock. Well, Ryan McGowan's been brilliant for the last year and a bit. Came in to the Hearts team at the start of last season. Remember a game at Ibrox, Hearts drew against Rangers at the start of last season. He's not really lost his place in the team ever since then. Of course, the cup final goal I mentioned earlier was the icing on the cake of the last campaign he started this season. And the Australia side that played Scotland in August came off the bench for his first cap. His younger brother on the Hearts bench tonight. Watson going through the gears. Novi Kovas just got a little bite out of Keith Watson there. Alan Murray's brought it back.
I think that's really good from Watson. He's asking the question. Novi Kovas has had him in the back foot so far in the match, but this time Watson thinks, okay, I'm going to take you the other way. Opens up the legs. Novi Kovas again, a forward tackling back, gives away the free kick.
It's another chance for Dundee United to plenty options in the mixer. In from Flood. Daly, so Yukis beats him this time. Granger just gets it away, but only as far as Armstrong. Straight to Ryan from Webster. Gunning. Early touch from Armstrong, allowed Barr in, but sloppy from both teams right now. Gunning. Russell. Good challenge from Andy Webster.
Really good from Webster. I think he wanted to redeem himself because played a left foot pass into midfield and gave it away.
Russell. This time he does get the free kick off Webster. He's getting a wee warning from the referee.
Clear foul, anything up to Russell so far. I think he realises he can't let Russell have a couple of yards and get turned on him. He's got pace, Russell. Might give Webster a few problems, so getting nice and tight. Not a bad place to give away a free kick on that occasion. Don't want to be doing it in and around your box though.
Daly. Granger was there for Hearts. Sutton. Zayukas, under pressure from Russell.
Better from United, pressing them a little bit higher up the pitch, not allowing them just to get time and stroll forward and pick out that pass. Drop into strikers or just playing up there for flick-ons or diagonals.
Oh, Dillon committed himself. It's a Hearts free kick.
It's a sore one, just you'll see it here, the flick on Stevenson. It's a double whammy because Dillon coming forward, Stevenson going back the way. Wouldn't like to have been on the end of that one.
No. Ryan Stevenson on need treatment. Poleaxed by Sean Dillon. He committed himself from the edge of his own penalty area there. If Stevenson had beaten him in the jump, may well have found a teammate in behind in the gap. What do you make of the job John McGlynn's done so far, Billy?
Pretty good, with the circumstances surrounding it. Hard club to go to, we knew that when they had the finances. Now the finances aren't there. It's got to handle loads of things that managers don't want to handle, off the park stuff. You just want to concentrate in the training field, put teams out there on a Saturday or midweek whenever you're going to play a game. I think if he concentrates on that, and I think he's doing fine. And overall, I'd have to say he's doing a pretty good job.
The 186th meeting between these two tonight. United have won 64, Hearts 73. It's the first League Cup meeting since 1984. It was a two-legged semi-final. United went through 5-2 in aggregate. They haven't met in a cup tie since 1997. Danny Granger-Waite scored an absolute cracker against Motherwell a couple of weeks back. He'll take the free kick. I'm convinced he wasn't trying for a goal there. The bonus of the corner kick.
He was, and I think United realised that by putting the two-man wall there. I think from that distance, I mean, what is that, 40 yards? I think from that distance you'd be thinking we don't need a wall, but I think they realised, but Hearts get the corner anyway with the deflection.
Zayukas and Cole Waite for the Granger corner. Zayukas and thumped away by Keith Watson.
It's funny, I was watching Stevenson sneak on there. I was waiting for the flick on, and he was sneaking down the back post after getting waved back on, but never came to him. Dundee United got away with it.
Yeah, Hearts coming to Tannadice and winning 3-0, but been equally capable of results in the other end of the scale. They lost at home to Dundee. 1-0 defeat. There has been a bit of inconsistency, but you can say that about both clubs.
Yeah, I mean, both the last two games, both with a win and a draw, so it's given them some confidence, but this game's lacking a pace and a tempo so far, very low-key. I think both teams realise how dangerous and how even the match they are.
Stevenson in and turned over the line, and the goal does stand. United look for a flag that ain't coming, and Callum Patterson, who scored twice here in the league game, puts Hearts in front at Tannadice.
Well, we needed something to bring it to life, and certainly have done. Stevenson finds himself away in that left. He didn't have to do a lot, Callum Patterson. It was only a couple of yards movement. I don't know if he sneaked off the back of Sean Dillon, but I mean, it's not a lot of movement. It's probably a couple of yards, you see. Novi Kovac takes it in, played wide, certainly not offside. You can see Callum Patterson getting there. Sean Dillon caught front post, sneaks round the back. Daly doesn't do his job and pick him up either, so easy tap in for Callum Patterson, but didn't have to do too much, but give him credit, he's in there poking it in.
It's his third goal of the season. They've all come against Dundee United. And Patterson, 18 years of age now, as United look to hit back immediately, but Armstrong's ball is blocked.
Hearts will be delighted. Just basic goal, hold it up, ball wide, cross in the box, but I think Peter Houston will not be happy with the defending there.
Bunning. Making its way through, did it? No, it didn't. And Gavin Bunning thinks it did. And Callum Patterson, the hero. He likes it here. So something for Peter Houston to ponder. His team have just started to find a bit of form. Standing there with Gary Kirk and the other coaches at Tannadice.
Well, talking about the height of the team, but it certainly wasn't the high ball that got the goal. It was too easy, and I think the boys will have a look at it at half-time and they'll see Sean Dillon front post area, maybe not deep enough, and the ball gets in across the front of him, and then Patterson moves 2-3 yards, gets a poke, and then Daly's dropped him as well. So from a United point of view, not great defensively, but good start for Hearts.
Yeah, they probably shaded it, and now they are shading the scoreline. Flood for United. Russell in on Webster. The big defender comes out with it. It's Towell looking for Sutton. Stevenson. Novikovas. Granger bombing down the overlap. Drops to Stevenson. The Hearts have another corner.
They've been the best team so far. Talking about United decided to sit off, and Hearts have dictated the game. They've now got the goal. They're still forcing the play, and they get yet another corner just by a ball dropped in. It falls to Stevenson, hits a shot, another deflection, another corner.
Another Danny Granger corner kick. So Yukis is up, so too though Vladislav Czerniak. Another good goalkeeper that Dundee United have sourced. And Craig Levein and Peter Houston have managed to do plenty of that at Tannadice.
Does well there with Zalewskis firing in on him. I mean, this is the goal. He just shifts it, blasts it. But you see the 3 United defenders, but I think the front post area should have been defended better, and I think certainly the runner should have been followed. But when you leave the striker just to get in like that, fair play to Callum Patterson. Good striker's goal. They all count, couple of yards. Take that, thank you very much.
Yeah, and he's made a good impact in the Hearts team. At times this season he's been the lone striker, and with his debut for the club in the opening day against St Johnstone, hasn't looked back.
And versatile, played a few positions, so
yeah,
real find.
Stevenson. And again, he gets the free kick. Man, the second spell at the club left in controversial circumstances about a year ago. There's a row over unpaid wages caused him to leave. McGowan. Jimmy McDonald, very much the Hearts' #1 these days. Took him a while to get there. Marianne Kello in particular, halting his progress. Craig Gordon before that.
I think United struggling to get to grips with the Hearts midfield. They've got a man extra, but look at how high up the Hearts fullbacks are, and it's given them 6v5 and given United major problems. And you see when the ball was headed out there, straight to Towell, and they start again.
How do you counter that?
Well, again, you've got to get one of your fullbacks forward from Dundee United's point of view, try to match up in there. You can drop one of your, well, you can't drop one of your, you don't go one up front, but certainly one of your fullbacks could push on a little bit more.
That's a free kick for Hearts again.
Yeah, I mean, they can mix up well, Hearts, that's the thing. They can pass it on the deck, but they can certainly go the aerial route as well. And so far they've dominated the game. And this man, again, great skill. Little nutmeg there, picks up the free kick. Watson diving in.
He's got the measure of Keith Watson at the moment, Arvidas Novikovas. Watson's been in a bit of form the past few weeks. As Zalewskis waits again. Here comes from Stevenson. Czerniak gets it away, but there's a flag on this near side. And centre halves have got to go all the way back the other end of the park.
Sutton just goes a little bit early.
Jersniak following in the footsteps of the likes of Jamotulski, Zaluska and Pernis more recently. Well, it's gone out of play. And Danny Granger. Likes it in Tayside, does Callum Patterson. Gunning. And Rankin. Armstrong. United looking to hit back. Oh, Stuart Armstrong couldn't get there. The pass wasn't the best to him. United just can't seem to get going just now. They can't get Johnny Russell in the game. They can't get John Rankin in the game either. Slightly different Dundee United midfield in the way that they've lined up with Mark Miller dropping out of the side this evening. Richie Ryan coming in. That means that John Rankin is shuffled to the side. Ryan, who was booked earlier.
I've got to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's the pace of the game and he's just sitting that little bit deep, Ryan. I think Peter Russo would maybe like him up, helping out his midfield. You can sit somebody there, but when you're not got the ball, you've got to be up on the game. And I just think Hearts are get the numbers in there when they get their full backs forward, but they're getting plenty of time on the ball as well, especially in that midfield there, and even from the back. We've watched Webster on numerous occasions just stride forward and pick out a nice little floated, weighted ball into his strikers.
Hearts were a couple of goals up before Dundee United knew what was going on in the league game last month, and they're looking to do similar here. Set piece opportunity. Stevenson and Novi Kovas there. It is Novi Kovas. Blocked right on the 18-yard line. Here's John Rankin.
One for the team. I think you see how sore it is.
It was coming at a fair pelt, right enough.
I fancied put my head in that, but John Rankin did. Suffering for it now.
It's stunned. When all is said and done, it is another Hearts corner kick. Callum Murray sorting out Callum Patterson. Chersniak there too. Normally see a free kick given to the defending team in this kind of scenario. Chersniak commits himself. To build again. McGowan. There's a couple coming back from offside. Danny Granger certainly wasn't offside. He's on the ball here. Chersniak beats it away.
Just too easy again. I think is it Johnny Russell on that side, just watches the ball, and he doesn't see Danny Granger sneaking in behind him, but when he cuts in, certainly gets a good shot off. Chersniak's got to deal with it.
Yep, it's a Polish goalkeeper who's been the busier of the two between the sticks tonight as Granger takes the corner. So Lucas, it drops to John Sutton. It just didn't fall for him. Back for Stevenson, but he was short with the pass. Now by Rankin. United had everyone back, so there's no outball for them. It's Taoul. Keeper thought about coming. Stevenson. Under pressure from Flood. United camped inside their own half. On the ropes a little just now. They can't keep a hold of the ball.
Yeah, Hearts are working hard to get it back as well, but second ball's all Hearts. I don't know if Peter Russo might think about a wee change of formation just to try and counter them, but certainly either he'll be wanting a better pace to the game right away, and he'll be wanting, I think, his midfield up a bit, just make sure when they're not on the ball they're pressing, getting a good pace to it, putting Hearts under pressure. But so far in the match, Hearts too much time on it, dictating.
I just think back to not even a fortnight ago, Billy, when Aberdeen were here and it was a high-octane game that was going from one end to the other. Is that the kind of match that suits this Dundee United side, the formation perhaps?
Yeah, I love watching them when they're like that, I must admit. Against Aberdeen, it was a high standard of game as well. It just wasn't a high tempo and a high pace. It was really good standard, the range of passing as well, and I think Peter Russo will be looking for more of that.
Rankin overcooks the pass for Armstrong, and Webster trying to use his experience. Well, it's gone the way of the defender.
I think he's lucky. I think there's a former striker and the defender tries to do that, you've got to get your leg round. We'll see here, they might catch him, but Stuart Armstrong's having none of it. I think he's lucky he's on his way down as soon as he feels the contact, but I think Stuart Armstrong, he's every right to go for that.
Experienced campaigner Andy Webster. Started at Arbroath, feels like a lifetime ago. 150 appearances in his first spell with Hearts. He's now back at the club following that loan here at Tannadice when he was still a Rangers player. Patterson, the goal scorer, to Stevenson. Dillon up against Patterson, who did beat him in the run there, but Dillon did enough to put him off. Little slip as well. Sean Dillon, who for the majority of his time when he started Dundee United, and he's been at the club for a good while now, he was playing at full-back, at right-back, but seems to have made centre-half his own position. And ironically, Gavin Gunning, who's out here to take this throw-in, is a centre-half by trade generally, and he's playing at full-back just now. Not nearly as comfortable at full-back as he is at centre-half. He's a very good centre-half, to be fair.
I think it suits him better than when he plays at full-back. As I said, down in numbers United, John Daly having to go back there. He might have a look at it second half and at some point change it, but they need the height against Hearts as well.
Flood, well, Tyrrell's going to take advantage of that, and he's got Callum Patterson to his right, but he might fancy it himself.
Self-inflicted, Willow Flood slack with the pass. Tyrrell, good pressing. Don't think he catches this just the way he wants it. He's sliced across it, going from left to right as you see here. Not too far away though, is it? Goalkeeper worried.
Both these teams at the moment struggling in the bottom half of the table. Hearts currently in 7th, United down in 10th, but Dundee United with a couple of games in hand over most of the league. One of those is at Celtic Park. Kilmarnock going there and winning, of course, at the weekend, but Celtic sealing one of the places in the semi-finals of the competition last night with that impressive 5-0 destruction of St Johnstone. St Mirren beating Aberdeen as well. At Pittodrie, eventually 2-2 finished after extra time. St Mirren winning the penalty shootout. John Rankin's okay now, took that smack to the face earlier on. Blocking the Novikovas free kick. But he hasn't been in the game, Billy, and when John Rankin's in the game, United seem to play better.
Yeah, I don't think they've had enough of the ball to get him forward either. He likes getting himself forward. I think he's only got one goal this season. That was against Aberdeen, but he likes to get forward. I don't think any of the midfield of United have been allowed to do that because Hearts have dominated in there. I think you want to see more, or Peter Hewson will want to see more United possession, a quicker tempo of the passing, and that lets his midfield get forward and support Russell, but they've not had any of it so far in the match.
United have won this competition twice, 1979 and 1980. First against Aberdeen, then against Dundee. They're looking to hit back here as they try and get their place in the semi, and Johnny Russell has levelled the match here. The ball broke kindly for Johnny Russell, who made no mistake, thumping it into the back of the net, and the Tangerines are right back in it.
From nowhere, the two goals have come from absolutely nothing. Watson getting forward on the right. I think it's Gardine who takes it down, but too easily. We see Watson, Gardine turns, hits, lucky break, but Russell in a flash was said about getting a service to him. Well, they do, but how's his reactions here? Breaks off, I think it's Webster, but Russell is so razor sharp, gets into the net, and from nowhere, United level.
Well, he was desperate to get there before Zalukis and McGowan, and it's paid dividends for Johnny Russell, who gets his 6th goal of the season. Scored the only goal in the last round against Queen of the South. He's got United's equaliser here. His Hearts come up the other end with Novikovas, blocked by Watson. Now it might open up a bit. Gardine. Well, Hearts will feel hard done by because their supporters, perhaps John McGlynn as well, felt as though They were in control of this game, and all of a sudden, it's level pegging.
It's football for you. I mean, I don't think Hearts would have been particularly disturbed by the way they were positioned with the 3 players in there and both Gardine and Russell in front of them. Maybe just a little bit tighter. They allowed Gardine to turn, and then they're a little bit of trouble. And when it does break, it's Russell that reacts the quickest, so that's why they're level.
Still looking for Patterson. It's that duel between Patterson and Dillon comes out on top once more. Russell the hero again. He really is a real match winner for Dundee United. They've had a few of them in recent times. David Goodwillie springs to mind immediately. John Daly. This was taking a sore one. It's down on the near side.
I mean, look at the Hearts defenders, 3 of them in there, bodies there. I just think the only mistake they probably made was give Gardine too much room. Well, again, 2 mistakes. They never reacted quicker than Russell, but I think Russell was lightning. So, but 2 mistakes. I don't think the John McGlynn, the Hearts manager, will be particularly happy with the defending, as Peter Houston won't be for the Hearts goal. But I just think defending not good. But I think you've got to credit Russell and how quick he was to react to poke that one home.
So 79 and 80 the last time Dundee United, the 2 occasions Dundee United won the League Cup. 3-0 after a replay against Aberdeen. Pettigrew with 2, a Sturrock goal as well, then Sturrock with a couple the following year against Dundee. Davy Dodds with the other. Hearts have won it 4 times, most recently in 1962. A Norrie Davidson goal against Kilmarnock won that one 1-0. 54, 58 and 59. The other occasions, the Jambos have won the Scottish Cup 3 times in recent years. 98, 2006, and this year Dundee United winning the Scottish Cup just over 2 years ago, that final against Ross County. Dundee United free kick. Keith Watson struggling against Novi Kovas tonight, but he did a very good job in Aberdeen's Ryan Fraser a couple of weeks ago. Just looked as though he was hitting a bit of form. Suddenly it's Dundee United see more of the ball now.
I think Hearts are a little bit in shock, and myself, because they were a goal up, had more chances, they were dictating the play, dominating the game, and suddenly nowhere United find themselves level. But that's what lift teams, the game can change on a goal, and it's certainly done that.
Maria Zaujukas got 3 goals this season. He also scored for his country Lithuania. It's first for his country against Slovakia in a World Cup qualifier last month. As we head towards the interval, it's John Daly. Stevenson flicking that one away from Rankin. Patterson, that's good, strong play against Daly. He's a shooting sight player, Callum Patterson. He was having a look at the goal there as he was heading towards the penalty area. Eventually he was crowded out.
Flood did well. Just put him under a little bit of pressure. Because you're right, he was thinking about it. I think Peter Houston will be saying to his players at half time, hey, we're lucky to be in this game. We must take advantage and play a lot better. I think he'll be delighted to be level at this point in the game.
Sutton. Patterson. Novi Kovas is offside. Not that it matters.
Again, drifting in from that left-hand side, not scared to support his 2 strikers. You can see he just drifts too early.
He's also been playing in the Lithuania national team. He's played all 4 of their qualifiers in the campaign so far. Rankin, and now Armstrong. Flood. Armstrong's continued his run the inside channel, and there's a shout for handball, and it has been given against Danny Granger. So Dundee United finishing the first half strongly.
Yeah, could they find themselves in front? I think it was handball. He's turned his back, but the arm's up as well. It's come off his knee onto his arm, but as soon as you lift the arm, free kick's given, and could United find themselves in front?
Well, Hearts seem to have this game by the scruff of the neck. And all of a sudden, they're being pinned back by Dundee United as John Daly waits round about the penalty spot. In from Flood. Away by Zaljukas. It's calm as you like from Novi Kovas. Sometimes that doesn't work out. Might look a bit silly if it doesn't, but it did. And Patterson chasing after, but Rankin was back to close the back door on Callum Patterson. Chersniak gets rid of it. Back with the pole. Sean Dillon. Gardine. From a Ross County man, he's found Richie Reimer only just. Flood. Watson. Watson pumping it into the penalty area. Zaljukas who flicks it away. Stevenson. Patterson. Towel. Shout of man on as Gardine chased down the Moroccan. Webster to Granger. And Novi Kovas. What's come right through? Well, that was fizzed in again by Novi Kovas.
He's been the top player in the game so far by miles, Novi Kovas. I mean, what a quality ball that is. As a striker, you just gamble, get yourself in there. Sutton going front post, Patterson can't reach it, but more quality from Novi Kovas.
Just drilled the ball in into a terrific area right along the 6-yard line. Webster nicking that one off Armstrong. Well, final minute of the first half. And Hearts may well get the final opportunity of it. Long throw from McGowan. Patterson. Chersniak watches it go past.
Well, Daly and Dillon having a debate there because he gets in between them. Little flick. I think the goalkeeper's always got it covered, but again, it's happening too easy for a United point of view.
How would you sum up the first half then?
Hearts have been the better team, but you know, for the last 10 minutes or so since United have scored, they've come into the game. So I think Peter Houston will be happy that he's level at half-time. I don't think John McGlynn will be. I think he'll feel as if his side should be in front, but sometimes football works out that way.
1 minute stoppage time, which we are into. It's Russell to Flood. Watson in space. He gets it now. Daly. For Armstrong, but McGowan held firm. The flag was up for offside on the far side. McDonald with the long one towards John Sutton. Callum Murray blows for half-time, and Hearts, for the first half an hour, First 35 minutes look fairly comfortable thanks to that man, Callum Patterson. His third of the season. They've all come against United, 2 in the league and 1 tonight. And Johnny Russell with his 6th of the season, levelling matters against the run of play. But United have looked the better team after scoring. It means it's going to be a very interesting second half. Half-time at Tannadice. Dundee United 1, Hearts 1.
Yep, all square at Tannadice, 1-1 as the teams troop off. And let's get the half-time thoughts of Pat Nevin and the Scotland manager Craig Levein. And well, Peter Houston's luck might be in tonight, because if he'd said after half an hour it was going to be 1-1 at the interval, Craig, I think we'd have all thought you were having a laugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny game, isn't it? I mean, the Hearts were the better side in the first half, and United didn't really get going at all. And I'm sure that at one point Peter would have been happy to get into the dressing room only being 1-0 down at half time. But you know, sometimes when you've got quality players on the field, even if your team isn't playing well, you know, Johnny Russell reacts so quickly to that situation to score the goal. If you've got quality players, sometimes when you're not playing well, they could dig you out a hole.
Let's get the thoughts of John McGlynn with Jonathan.
John, Hearts seemed to dominate large parts of that first half. Are you disappointed to be going in level?
Yeah, we're disappointed because I think we've done an awful lot in that half. I think we've been the dominant team, as you suggested there. Yeah, and going 1-0 up, we're disappointed that it's now level, but we're confident about the second half.
John, thanks very much.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's a real blow for Hearts, isn't it? Having dominated much of that first 45 to be going in all square, Pat.
Absolutely. Peter Houston, we didn't see him there. I think he's wearing a mask tonight. It's not a Halloween mask, it's a robber's mask. Can't believe that. I mean, I thought Hearts was superb. Back to front quite a lot, to be fair. But you know what? It's working for them. We know that Novakovic has been fairly good at them, but they certainly deserved that. And I think we felt in here, certainly, that they deserved that. By this time, great balls coming in from the left, winning the first balls, getting to the knockdowns quite well, and having a large percentage of the play and on possession, obviously, as well.
Yeah, I don't think that United ever got to grips with that kind of attacking left side of Hearts with Novakovic and Granger coming forward as well. As we see the second goal here, we're talking about Johnny Russell's reactions, the striker's reactions in the box. A bit of pinball there, and he reacts the quickest. It's as simple as that, and you know, all credit to him. But I mean, I think Hearts have been the better side. I think that left side of the pitch with Novakovic in particular, he's been excellent. Granger getting forward to support him, and I didn't think that United did enough to stop crosses coming into the box.
Tonight's other League Cup quarter-final is at Ibrox. Rangers against Inverness. It kicked off half an hour after this one. Let's get the latest from Chick.
Well, we've played 21 minutes and it's Rangers 0, Inverness Cali Thistle 0, but it shouldn't be, because this game has ebbed and flowed from end to end. We've had all sorts of chances. Perhaps the best of all fell for Rangers. It was bizarre, really, because Aaron Doran was through for Inverness Cali Thistle. It seemed to me he was brought down. Inverness should have had a free kick in the threshold of the box. Rangers played on, rushed to the other end because Steve McLean didn't give that free kick. They created an opportunity. Andy Little had the chance. McLeod played him in. He should have scored, and maybe the pass should have been better from McLeod. Rangers couldn't take that. But this has been an exciting cup tie, I have to say, in front of around 25,000 inside Ibrox. It remains at the moment, though, Rangers 0, Inverness Cali Thistle 0.
The two Lennons have already piloted their teams through to the last four of the competition. Neil and Danny, St Mirren and Celtic, going through in contrasting fashions last night. Let's get the highlights of those games with Jane Lewis.
Aberdeen started this cup tie brightly, but it was St Mirren who went in front. Gary Teal's looping header taken care of, only for the ball to fall to Sam Parkin. But Aberdeen have been known to fight back this season, the long ball causing problems for Craig Sampson, and Scott Vernon took advantage. At 1-1, Aberdeen might have fancied their chances, but a slice of luck for St Mirren. Then a stunning strike from Kenny McLean had the Dons thinking again. St Mirren leading, but you still got the feeling this tie was finely poised. An uneasy clearance and Stephen Thompson so close for the visitors. That chance came in the 90th minute. Would St Mirren rue the miss? Deep into injury time, and Joss McGuinness, Aberdeen's late hero again. So 2-2 and extra time, and both sides had their chances. Stephen Hughes hit the bar. While Lewis Guy might have been the hero for St Mirren, he raced through. Did Jamie Langfield make contact? Well, referee Crawford Allen said no and booked Guy for diving. And so to spot kicks. With St Mirren off the mark, Hughes missed Aberdeen's opening penalty. Successful kicks then traded. And when David Van Zanten scored to put St Mirren 4-2 up, the pressure was on Aberdeen and Cammy Smith. Samson saved it, and Saints, Mirren that is, go marching on.
Like all cup ties, you know it's going to be a fight right until the end, and we hung in there. I thought the character that the players showed right throughout, and to be up 2-1 for a long period of time and to lose it in the last minute in the way that we did, psychologically that could have had a big effect on them.
But credit St Mirren, they came with a game plan, they battled bravely, and their penalty kicks were excellent.
Celtic were looking to bounce back after back-to-back defeats, and they showed their intent early on. Chris Commons testing Alan Manus not once, but twice. St Johnstone had beaten Celtic in the SPL last month, but it was one-way traffic in this cup tie, and Chris Commons seemed to be on a one-man mission. Well, almost one man. He did receive a little help from Liam Craig's leg for his opening goal. There was a sense of urgency in Celtic's play, and Saints were barely able to cope as the home side flooded forward. Commons again in a great position to finish off Gary Hooper's pass. St Johnstone were a team in good form coming into this tie. They were unbeaten in their last 8 games, but Celtic and Commons meant business. The Scotland midfielder this time setting up Gary Hooper. Into the second half, and it was as you were really. Celtic pressed forward. And when Stephen Anderson tugged at Tony Watts, referee Bobby Madden said penalty. No prizes for guessing who wanted to take it. Chris Commons made it 4-0 with over half an hour still to play. But still there was no let up for the St Johnstone keeper. He got a slight touch to the ball in. It fell to Charlie Mulgrew, who teased and teased and then scored. Hawaii 5-0, quite appropriate. St Johnstone hadn't really threatened all night, but with 5 minutes remaining, Nigel Hasselbank had a go. It would have been mere consolation though, as Celtic sailed into the semis.
Obviously, when you let the class of Celtic knock it about and run off you, you're in for a long evening, and it proved to be the case.
We didn't want to take this game lightly. We can put it now to the back burner till January when the semi-finals come around. We look forward to the draw. So it's still we're going strong in that competition, and now I want us to start concentrating on the league again.
I was at the game last night. St Johnstone were disappointing. They'd be the first to admit it themselves. They got quite a few basics wrong about the match, but I think we all knew Celtic would be a different kettle of fish from what they were against Kilmarnock at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure Steve Lomas, when he saw that Celtic had lost at the weekend, was saying to himself, this makes the game harder in midweek. Of course that happens, you know, and they couldn't afford to. They couldn't really afford to have 2 performances like that in a row, Celtic, so I expected them to come out all guns blazing, and from St Johnstone's point of view, just unfortunately that's who they were playing.
And as for Aberdeen, it's another penalty shootout loss. They've got a horrendous record when games get to that stage.
You know, when you think about Aberdeen and you think about cup competitions, you're absolutely devastated. It's just heartbreak timing again, but well done, St Mirren, and good to see that boy with the daft name scoring again. McLean, I really like him, by the way, good player.
Goal at Ibrox, and here's Chick.
26 minutes gone, and it's Inverness Caley Thistle who take the lead. It was Andrew Shinnie, hot as he is at the moment, and a former Rangers player who took the opportunity, sprung the offside trap, timed his run to perfection, and slotted the ball beyond Neil Alexander. It's Rangers 0, Inverness Caley Thistle 1.
So 1-0 there, 1-1 here at Tannadice. We'll have the second half for you live shortly. Looking back on that first half, been dominated by Hearts, Craig, and you have to remind yourselves that this guy Callum Patterson is only 17. All his goals have come against Dundee United. This was a real goal poacher's finish, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, and I think Peter Houston will be disappointed that the front post area wasn't cut off by the first centre back. When the ball goes out, and for me, there's only one place that's going to go, and it's right across the face of the goal, and it should have been cut out at the first post. I don't think the goalkeeper can do anything. He's in a difficult position to come as far out as that, and all credit to Patterson. Very much like I said with Johnny Russell with his goal, he anticipates and he gets there first.
That's the centre back's attitude, though. You should get there front. As a wide player, I'm thinking, I can see a gap, and that's the gap I'm going to aim for. It's between the centre backs and the goalkeeper, and I'm always going to try and get there. There isn't a lot of space. You're right. He should be a yard back.
The first centre back should always cover that area. That's the most dangerous area for the ball to go into. And I don't know who it was. I think it would be Sean Dillon. If you just take 2 steps to his right, he's clearing the ball.
It's not difficult to put together the Dundee United highlights from the first half, but this is it.
Yeah, spot on. It's incredible that he can actually walk in now. And we were all saying that, he goes down 1-0 down and he's probably quite happy about it. And they've done the square root of nothing before this. But if you've got a striker who's sharp, and you don't often talk about it, but see the toe poke is one of the best skills in the game when you use it right. Because the keepers can't read it, and you can get in front of people. And he just gets a toe onto there. He's willing enough, he's quick and he's sharp and he's zipping up. And by the way, great first touch by Garden.
Yeah, the thing is, what I thought was quite interesting there, actually, when you see the ball breaking, Johnny Russell is behind the 2 Hearts players. So he's made up, okay, it's maybe only a foot or a couple of feet, but he reacts the quickest, and that's a sign of a good striker. In that penalty box, you have to anticipate, and that's what he's done better than defenders.
And in that moment, Pat, the whole complexion of the game changes.
Well, it did. The complexion changed, you're right, because suddenly Dundee United actually started pushing forward a bit. You could see their confidence grow. Now, I don't think Hearts actually lost any confidence there. I was wondering, would they go inside themselves a bit? No, they didn't. They kept on to the game plan, and they still looked really good after that, as I say, particularly down the left-hand side. But, I liked the left-hand side. We talked right at the start about Novikovas. Now, for me, Novikovas has been so far the most skillful player here. It's just beyond belief. If they can get the ball out to him constantly from now on, but you'd said they didn't actually mark in front of Novikovas, so it's maybe partially Dundee United's fault.
I think Peter Houston will have a right blast at his players here at half-time. He knows that they've got out of jail, and I would expect to see a far better performance in the second half by Dundee United. I think they'll get closer to the wide players, they'll get there quicker, and they'll be more physical. Well, they'll have to be, because you can't allow the room that they were getting in the wide arena. So I expect a different Dundee United in the second half.
Having squared the game, is it the time to go on the front foot and bring on a Scatchell or a Gary Mackay-Stephen and try and build on the fact that they've got this game levelled up?
Well, I think the manager would say the first 10 or 15 minutes of the second half tells you a hell of a lot, doesn't it? If
it's a different game, Pat, at 1 each than it would have been at 1-0.
Oh, yeah.
I think at 1-0 down, then Peter Houston's got a fairly, he can say to himself, I make changes. We're behind, we haven't performed well. Now we might just wait.
Exactly.
Might give them a blast, wait 10 minutes, and if he needs to, he's lucky to have the firepower that he's got on the bench, and I think he will use them if he needs to.
And no need for Hearts to change anything, because apart from the Dundee United equaliser, it's all been going really well for them.
Yeah, and I'm looking through their team. I don't think there's any failures in the Hearts side, and that's the worrying thing for them. No failures. They look really strong at the back for me. I don't think there's any defenders who've had any poor touches. Even the goal is harsh on them because it's a deflection more than anything.
It's a bit
else.
of pinball in the penalty box,
Exactly.
isn't it? And,
not much you can do about that.
But for Johnny Russell's sharpness, Hearts might have got away with it.
And even I was looking at Tyrrell in the midfield. We were chatting about before. He's a player I like to watch because he's nice in the ball, but he has weaknesses. In actual fact, he's given the ball away much less than I've seen him in the past. So looking at, I'm not really seeing that many weaknesses.
The thing about the Heart, there's 2 things. Sorry, United always do better shooting down the hill. That's the first thing. They always do better shooting than the supporters going down the hill. And then there's this disappointment factor that Hearts must be carrying. They think we're the better team in the first half, we didn't get what we deserved. And if it goes against Hearts early in the second half, I think it'll be difficult for the players to pick themselves up.
Have United been out-muscled as much as anything else?
Well, that's part of it. And we've seen it from the start. If they're going to play the 2 up front and they're big lads up front, and particularly with Sutton holding it up well, and again his hold-up play's been pretty good. So yeah, that was the game plan, and it has worked. Except for one moment in the game. And also the other thing is just get it wide and get good crosses. And now right at the start of the game, I thought the delivery wasn't great from Hearts, but they picked that up a little bit. And I think there's a lot of questions that have been asked of Dundee United defensively. You say they'll be different in the second half. Teams do like to shoot their favourite direction in the second half. I'll tell you what, they'll have to go something to stop Hearts, because, as I say, all over the place, they're actually working really well.
We spoke about Hearts using back to front because of the players they have, and they've certainly done it. Dundee United, with John Daly at the back, don't have that option.
No, they don't have the option, and I think maybe doing a little bit of disservice to Hearts, because they played some good stuff, particularly when they get the ball in the wide areas. And for me, getting the ball wide and getting crosses in the box is a great thing.
Let me interrupt you. Let's hear from Paul Egerty.
Paul, 1-1 at half-time, but Hearts dominating large swathes of that first half. What was the general message at half-time? Did the manager have a go at the players?
No, obviously it was constructive criticism, but the first half our Hearts out of muscled us, and obviously got a goal from across, which we should have dealt with better. And their only chance really is the Johnny Russell effort, which ended up in the net. Obviously we're delighted with it, so we've tried one or two things at half time, hoping that they're going to rectify that. But you know, we're delighted to come in at 1-1, because up until we had scored, you know, Hearts, as you say, out-muscled us, dominated us, but we've got back into the game, which we are delighted with.
Paul, thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, United have to be feeling good about the scoreline. 1-1 halfway through. Back to Billy, back to Liam.
Constructive criticism, Paul Hegarty called it at half-time. The message to the Dundee United players: they'll have to play better, you feel, in the second half if they are to reach the semi-finals. St Mirren and Celtic already there. Inverness lead Rangers at Ibrox. It's on a knife edge here on Tayside. Which way will it go? United's last final appearance was in 2008. We were talking about in the first half, but it was a heartbreaking one for them. Hunt and De Vries on the score sheet for United, but that Chris Boyd double cancelled both those goals out. The first of those coming 4 minutes from the end of the 90 minutes. No changes at half-time for either side. Plenty of options, certainly Dundee United seem to have, on paper anyway, a stronger bench. Scatchell, Mackay, Stephen both there. That last Hearts final in 1996, 4-3 Rangers, 2 from McCoy's, 2 from Gascoigne. It was Fulton, Robertson and Weir on the score sheet for Hearts that day. That final played at Celtic Park. They will be desperate to get to the League Cup final. We'd love to have both of Scottish football's trophies inside the Tynecastle cabinet. The Scottish Cup holders. And it's Dundee United on the ball, Gunning. Oh, he's done well, gets away from McGowan. Gunning, beaten away by McDonald. It's only half clear, but Armstrong couldn't get it on target. Sign of intent though from the Terrors.
Yeah, it was. I think he had a part in the move earlier on, Armstrong, but you can see him getting himself to the edge of the box there. Gunning does well, whips in. It's not a great ball because it's too close to the goalkeeper. McDonald chooses to punch, but I think you'll be pretty disappointed, Armstrong, that he just can't hit the target because there's bodies there, goalkeeper's not quite set. It was a chance, a real chance for United.
Barr on the stretch. Scored the first in the Scottish Cup final win over Hibernian. Live with him forever, as it will do anyone of a Hearts persuasion. This is Callum Patterson. It's a great ball in as well. Chersniak had to act under pressure from Sutton. Given away by United. And a free kick given away as well. Well, Stuart Armstrong lost the ball initially and was forced to foul Towell.
Yeah, he got desperate after that. You see him there chasing, just bundled right through Towell, and we've talked about it. Don't want to be giving free kicks away against Hearts in these sort of areas with the height they've got. Certainly dominating in that department.
Stuart Armstrong has become a mainstay in the Dundee United team as well, particularly this season. Broke through really last campaign, but he's given away a free kick which in Hearts' eyes is in a great position. It's Granger. It's over.
Yeah, we could leave it at that, I think. The one thing we want to do is keep it down, look at the bodies that are there, maybe just get it bouncing in front of the goalkeeper, take a deflection, but once you lean back and rifle it like that, only one place is going to end up.
Hearts knocked out Livingston to get to this stage. 3-1 it was at Tynecastle. Danny Granger scored that day. Maria Salyukis with 2. Stevenson. Awkward one for Watson. I think Kovacs was there. So, Billy Dodds, what was the constructive criticism that Peter Houston dished out to his United players at half-time?
I think right away when we've not got the ball, we must get closer to Hearts. Just sort out the midfield area. Just make sure that we lift the pace and the tempo of the game. I think that's about it. I think he knows he got away with one and he was lucky to get it at half-time. So I think just going through a few things, and if they improve in those departments, they probably take a huge part in this game.
Hasn't been a happy cup for Hearts in recent times. Lost out to Ayr United on penalties in the 3rd round of last season's competition. Controversy all over that game though. Disallowed goals. Gunning finds Flood. Heavy touch from Flood, a little bit lazy. Stevenson loses out. Here come Dundee United now. Gifted the ball back, having given it away themselves. Watson. And Ryan. John Rankin, a little bit of space to work in. Armstrong gets the break of the ball. Well, Gardyne wanted it played through to him. It's play on for Hearts. Towell went down. Callum Murray allowing play to continue. But it's another sloppy pass. It's Ryan Stevenson this time.
There's an opportunity for Armstrong just to little reverse pass, and you're right, Gardyne was through but chose to hit the shot. But the team's a little bit slack at the start of this second half.
Well, the Flood was there as well. So much riding on this game. Not just a cup run and an appearance at Hampden Park in a semi-final and all that that can bring. But at this stage of the season, it's kind of make or break time. This is kind of when you get into the kind of mid to late autumn, it's where you kind of get an idea as to where you're going to finish in the league as well, isn't it?
It can give you momentum,
yeah.
Even this competition, even in the league. But I think this competition takes off when you get, if you can win your quarter-finals, semi-finals, finals, big occasions. So
all the way through to Russell. And there was Jamie McDonald, and he had to be quick.
Showing his pace there again, Russell. Watch the movement here. Peels off the back of Webster. It's a good spot. Just beyond him. McDonald does enough.
Yeah, well read by Jamie McDonald. Anticipated that coming right through. Gunning. He's looked a little bit more at home at full-back tonight so far. Terzniak. Fine touch. Gardyne. Former Ross County player, just settling in with his new club. He's from Dundee, Michael Gardyne. Daly beaten by Sutton, the 2 number 9s. Now Gunning. I just feel this cup tie will open up at some point. Rankin. Defended by Webster. Rankin still there, but former High B loses out. And then Stevenson didn't hear the shout of man on, if there was one. Should have thought there would have been. He's had a sloppy 5 minutes or so, Ryan Stevenson. Normally so good on the ball.
Yeah, good pressure on him though. I think United need more of that. But it's a better atmosphere in the ground now. Both teams getting about it. Maybe a little bit of slackness, yeah, but I think that's credit to both teams. Starting to press the ball, starting to work that little bit harder.
Callum Murray over with Ryan Stevenson. Not sure if there's a problem with the Hearts midfielder.
Took that knock in the head, didn't he, earlier on? Wonder if that's got something to do with it. Maybe a little bit of concussion.
Yeah, change is going to be made by Hearts. They're going to bring on Lee Robinson. Scott Robinson rather coming on. He's going to replace Ryan Stevenson. it's a blow for Hearts, but perhaps with the knock earlier on, Billy. I mean, we're talking about the fact his passing's been off, but he may well have been affected by that, because it was a fair clatter in the back of the head as well.
Yeah, it was a sore one. He's obviously given it, maybe spoken about it to the physio at half time and said, look, I'll give it a shot. 8 minutes or so he's lasted in this second half, but off he goes. Just maybe a little bit blurred.
20-year-old Scott Robinson on now, though. Back into that midfield area as Barr gets it away. Certainly Hearts are weaker as far as experience is concerned, but then again, Scott Robinson knows what it's all about to play in the Hearts first team. He's on the ball here, wearing the number 8. Came through the ranks at Hutchison Vale Boys Club before signing up at Hearts. He was a regular under Paolo Sergio for a lot of last season. So Ryan Stevenson's got more experience than him, but he did make his debut 4 years ago. It's Ryan, I'm not sure he was the original intended target of the pass that came from Gunning. Kovas. Ten minutes into the second half. Still no closer to discovering who will be going through to the semi-finals of the Scottish Communities League Cup. In this tie, Gardyne. Watson. Jersniak's got a decent games to clean sheet ratio. 6 in 12 before tonight. Callum Patterson slotted Hearts in front. Jenny Russell levelling things up just before the interval. And it's Dundee United on the ball with Armstrong. William McDonald diving.
I think it's all down to Rankin. He does well to Rob McGowan. You see here, gets in the tackle, comes away with the ball, breaks to Armstrong. Seen him hit him from here before. He's got a good strike. It's at the angle. It's going to be a special one to beat Jamie McDonald from there. Decent strike though.
Will he be happier?
I think he will. We're just thinking that they're kind of keeping the ball a little bit better, a bit more composure. Hearts not dictating the play so much.
Dylan looking for him, shows an ambitious one.
I just wonder if it stays like this. You know, what Rob was talking about at the start of the programme, but just set for Scatchell to come on, score the winner against his home team. Sometimes fate takes a part in football.
Well, it'll be a headline, wouldn't it?
Just a bit.
I wonder if he did score, if he'd celebrate.
Looks pretty relaxed.
Flood. Yeah, yellow card will come out here for Darren Barr. And a couple of those. Former Falkirk captain.
Yeah, a little tug. Misses the tackle and then just a little whip round with the arm. Picks up a yellow. Got to be careful now.
Richie Ryan booked in the first half. Dundee United midfielder. He's over this. Clipped ball to Gunning, who wins it. And McDonald holds on. Right idea. McDonald tried to release Arvidas Novikovas. who's been quieter in the second half.
It was good from United, gunning, don't usually outmuscle Hearts at any point, but he gets an early run on McGowan, gets up above him, nearly gets it beyond McDonald.
Daly is all over Patterson, and it will be a free kick to Hearts.
You've got to be careful, United, too many you can see there. Arms round, you're always going to get the free kick there. Sometimes you just got to stand off, give half a yard, let him have it, he's not hurting you. But they can certainly hurt them now.
Yeah, John Daly conceding the free kick there, despite the fact United have got Brian McLean on the bench, and they've had Brian McLean on the bench, the former Rangers and Motherwell centre-half, is at Falkirk as well. He's on the bench still for United. They continue with John Daly at centre-half. That's how good he's been. But he's conceded a free kick in a very good area for Hearts, which Mehdi Taoul is over. Will he roll it to Novi Kovas to his right, or will he go himself? He goes himself, and Cherzniak was equal to it. Wasn't really in the corner, which might have tested the pole a bit more. Novi Kovas. Taoul. Lithuanian again. But short in the pass that time. The Hearts trying to exert some pressure on this Tangerine rearguard. Granger. Novi Kovas. Trying to get around Gardine, and he has done. Granger. It's not a bad ball. Sutton will have another bite at it. Patterson! Oh, he's so unlucky. So unlucky.
Well, United have certainly ridden a lot in this match so far in the first half, but they've ridden it again here. Sutton wins it, just hooks up there by Dillon, but improvisation, what a strike that was, and you want that little bit of luck. I mean, it's in all the way. No, it's not. Straight to the goalkeeper's arms. United living dangerously.
He's popped a few in at Tannadice, Callum Patterson. That would have been the most spectacular of the lot. That was a terrific effort. It was denied by Radoslav Cherzniak's right-hand post.
He never went to sleep at all in the move, did he, Patterson? Just always alive, always aware, coming back in the second time. Acrobatic kick. So unlucky not to get his second.
Exciting talent. Reared down Gorgie way in Callum Patterson. There's Scott Robinson, who's on now as well. It was all the way through to Cherzniak that time. He probably turned round expecting that to go into his net rather than bounce back at him off the post. But he'll take it.
I think he was halfway into his celebration.
And delayed reaction from Callum Murray. He's eventually given Dundee United a free kick here. Challenged by John Sutton and Gavin Gunning.
And not too much in it. Maybe Sutton did have his eyes on Gunning, bumped into him, but not too much in it. Word of warning.
Remember, Inverness leading Rangers by 1-0 in the other quarter-final tonight. They are half an hour behind us at Ibrox. Dillon just flicked clear. Here Gary Mackay-Stephen is being readied for action. Here comes Willow Flood. Watson. Russell will accept the corner kick. United fans in the Eddie Thompson stand behind Jamie McDonald's goal. Start to get excited. And there he is. He's going to be on soon. And we hear for Michael Gardine. But before all that, Dundee United corner, which Flood is over. Awkward for the Hearts defenders. There's a shout for a penalty. United will play on. It's Watson. And the offside flag's up. Well, Stuart Armstrong, I think, wanted the penalty there. He was involved.
It was a late bump. I think you see here, Patterson back there. Little nudge.
You'd have claimed for that.
I would have. Don't know if I got it though.
Callum Murray decided against the award, and it stays one apiece. Seesaw battle. Sutton. Oh, brilliantly done there for Robinson. And blocked by Gavin Gunning.
Does well, Gunning.
There's wee pockets of space on the pitch now that weren't there earlier.
I think the game's certainly evened up now. I don't think Hearts are dominating as much. United have had their moments in this second half. Hearts have had theirs. Certainly Callum Patterson hitting the post, but I think it's more even game now.
Armstrong clearing. And Gary Mackay-Stephen is having a chat with Peter Houston out of your picture just below us. Just passed on some instructions to the talented winger. And now Gary Kirk does likewise. Rudy Scatchell in the background waits. He came on about this time in the win over St Mirren the weekend. Rudy Scatchell will be Mackay-Stephen on for United momentarily. Armstrong. It's former United skipper Webster who gets it away. Flood to Keith Watson. Good run ahead of him. And Gardyne hasn't got much longer in the park. Watson bringing the challenge, but there was a couple of white and maroon jerseys around him, and that was lax from Mehdi Taoul. He's lucky there.
Not sure if it was a good run. He ran into his space. Maybe an earlier pass from Keith Watson when he was further away from Gardyne, but once he takes a couple of touches, then Gardyne runs the channel and runs into Keith Watson's space.
Hearts still of Andrew Driver, Gordon Smith and Dylan McGowan on the bench as far as outfield players are concerned. Peter Encombe in the sub-goalie. United have Steve Banks, the sub-goalkeeper, former Hearts keeper. What a coach these days. Ryan McLean, Gary Mackay-Stephen's about to come on. Mark Miller and Rudy Scatchell. It's away by McDonald. Danny Granger. And Taoul. Signed by Jim Jeffries, the start of last season, former Kilmarnock player. Novi Kovas. Taoul. Granger. A wee bit too much on it.
Good intention.
Well, there can be no underestimating just how much Dundee United have missed the man who is going to come on for that man, Michael Gardyne. He goes off, and on comes Gary Mackay-Stephen. There will be a special cheer for Mackay-Stephen from the United faithful. They have missed him big time. Just back from knee surgery. That's a big, big boost for Dundee United to get him back.
Huge boost. We ain't get too many talents in a league in the SPL, but a special talent, should I say. He's certainly one, and welcome to the game as well.
Yeah. Yellow card for Webster.
They're leading with the elbow. Correct decision, you just can't do that now. Strong, rugged challenge, you'd expect that from Webster, but as soon as the elbow comes up, yellow card, quite rightly so. Gary Mackay-Stephen's taking a sore one. If he thinks he was coming back for an easy time, he'll think again.
Yeah, Polak straight away. Really good story. Gary Mackay-Stephen, he's from up in Thurso. Went to Liverpool in 2007 and had to work his way back from that terrific move that he got himself when he was just 16, 17. 16 he was. Went to Liverpool. Didn't happen. So built himself back up from Airdrie. He was at Airdrie United as recently as last year.
I saw him play against Morton. He was a central midfielder, left. Didn't realise he had the pace because he was just sitting in that left midfield and he was stroking the ball about, but suddenly Peter Houston puts him in a wide area. It's a whole different ball game for him. And full-time training, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. He's limping already. He'll be delighted to be back in the park and had his convalescing period and then that long road back on the training ground. But we're just about into the, well, we are now into the final quarter of the 90 minutes and we're still no closer to finding out who's going to go through to the semi-finals. Extra time and penalties if required tonight. No replays in the League Cup, unlike the Scottish Cup. The big teams into the Scottish Cup a bit earlier this year to allow for the winter break. It's December. Hearts will begin the defence of the Scottish Cup. League Cup semi-finals come at the end of January, the final in March. Remember the days we're having the final about now. It was in November the League Cup final was. Ryan McGowan, Scottish Cup hero, one of the Scottish Cup final heroes for Hearts, found the net. Long throw opportunity again for the Jambos. McGowan over it. Target Sutton, of course it is. Away by Dillon. Second bite of the cherry perhaps for Ryan McGowan. Barr. Corner or goal kick? Goal kick it is. Two officials in harmony with each other over that decision. Darren Barr felt it was a corner. Just over 20 to go. Mackay Stephen chasing after that one up against Webster, who's getting the boos from the fans who loved him a couple of seasons back.
Did well for United, Andy Webster. Good experience. Got him on the field. I think he was missing a lot of games with Rangers, and then suddenly came here and United managed to manage him, you would say, and get him on the field and probably let him train when he wanted, and then got him to play a lot of games and he played well for them.
Rankin, challenged by McGowan. Towell. Will there be the extra time? Will there be the penalties? We saw at Pittodrie last night. Zalukis. There you go. Confirmation the United fans don't like Andy Webster anymore. Sutton, that was strong and it was good. And now Hearts have plenty of options in the middle as well. They needed better delivery though.
Well, they only had Patterson and Novikovas in the box. I think Richie Ryan's got to do better. Sutton much stronger than him, but doesn't matter how small you are, you don't get shoved off the ball like that, but United get away with it.
You don't want to concede at this point of a cup tie, at any point, but particularly going into the closing stages. Can make up points after league defeats, but if you lose a cup tie, that's it. It's Callum Patterson's turn to take a sore one.
He's been in the wars as well. Don't know if he just landed awkwardly. But in the wars though.
Zalukis, that was short. McDonald's there though. Just making sure everyone's still awake. Maria Zalukis at the back. No foul. John Daly looked on at Callum Murray, the referee, innocently. Towell. Novikovas. Hearts fans right in front of that. Novikovas right in front of the Hearts fans, and they are appreciative of the Lithuanians' efforts tonight. A bit quieter in the second period. McGowan. And calmly done by Keith Watson.
Well, 17 minutes to go. You would think next goal could be the winner. Both teams looking a little bit tentative now. I think they know that. It's kind of settled down again the game, but might take a Johnny Russell a special moment, a Gary Mackay Stephen Novikovas for Hearts.
Well, Dylan will have to be very careful there. Sutton was prowling, awaiting the feed off any scraps there were. But there weren't any. Hearts will build again. Granger. Long for Patterson. Daly coming to meet him. And it goes for the corner. He's had a good game, Callum Patterson.
Yeah, he has. He's scored
just
the
his
goal,
goal.
he's hit the post. You see he's running the channels there.
Granger. Good ball in. And that's unlucky from Bart.
Well, United don't get enough players out. It's a 2v1 situation. They'd be wanting 2 out there. Hearts do well, take it early, and Dan Barr just can't get enough on it to direct it into that far corner, but it's a decent effort. Far away from Sutton either at the back post.
Scoring goals has been a bigger problem for Dundee United this season than it had been last campaign, as Patterson goes from distance. He's doing well to score from there.
Yeah, especially when the goalkeeper's standing on the line. I think if he's maybe 6 yards off and you've taken him by surprise, but worth a go, a little bit ambitious, but certainly shown maturity beyond his years, hasn't he? It's only going to get better.
John Daly's been pickpocketed. Patterson finds Novikovas. Towel bursting. I've got to get in the outside, but it's Novikovas himself.
Rankin and Watson do enough here, I think you'll see. He's got a willing runner too on the outside, doesn't use him. See Watson and Rankin putting him off. Good defending.
15 to go of the 90. Will there be extra time and penalties? It's decided tonight. Dylan. Gunning. Russell. Heavy from Johnny Russell. Granger.
Even Patterson will get that one. Not bad even.
Usain Bolt was struggling to get that one, I think. There was so much on the pass. United's goal-scoring problems this season. They were beaten only by the Old Firm in the scoring stakes in the league last campaign, eventually finishing 4th. Look at United. John Rankin, who we've hardly seen tonight. Granger. Richie Ryan picks up for the host, John McGlynn, not happy at all with his team's concession of possession there. Coming with a hit note for Gary Mackay-Stephen. Towell beats Armstrong to it. Sutton. Towell. Granger. A bit more flow about the Hearts' attacks in the last 5 minutes or so. Webster. First time from Robinson. McGowan. And by Daly, took a touch its way through.
You can see why he's there, can't you? I think Peter Houston knew tonight there's going to be a lot of balls in that box.
Well, Darren Barr is going to be spoken to here by Callum Money. It's going to be more than that. Darren Barr is going to be sent off. It's a second yellow card for the challenge on Johnny Russell. Hearts are reduced in numbers, and just how big a moment is that going to be in this Scottish Communities League Cup quarter-final tie?
That could be huge. I think when you're on a yellow and you take the gamble like that. And a nothing era, you have to say. Johnny Russell, I think it was, going nowhere, goes to ground. And once you take him out like that, did look a rash challenge. So it's going to be a long 12 minutes or so, and could be even more. Could be an extra half an hour on top of that, but Johnny Russell's just too quick for him. He catches him, and I have to say, yeah, it's a yellow card. You don't like to see it.
Well, the pendulum, you would think, has just swung a little in Dundee United's favour. And they have an immediate opportunity to ram home the fact that they now have the advantage, certainly numerically. Flood's ball. Patterson away. Towell robbed by Flood. Gets it back immediately from Mackay-Steven. Well, United fans will try and ram home the fact that their side are at home tonight, going into the final 11 minutes of the 90 minutes. They'll be desperate to finish this off before extra time. Hearts have it back though. That was careless from the home team. Arvidas Novikovas at pace. Rankin trying to get back at him. That's a great ball in as well, into the right area. Cherzniak anticipated that and Sutton couldn't get there.
It's a good quick break, isn't it? And when Novikovas did get there, you see him, he just can't get enough arch on it to get away from the goalkeeper with Sutton there. Maybe just 2 or 3 yards more out, with a little bit more bend on it. Would have been ideal for Sutton.
So Peter Houston, much to ponder. Does he change anything, the fact that his team have a man extra now?
The tempo, intensity for 10 minutes. Go and win it now. Yeah, they maybe be looking at it and think, well, we should win it in extra time, but Hearts, I think now, would be probably happy to take it to penalties. So I think 10 minutes, intensity from United, create a few chances, see if you can get that winner.
It's not been a game of many chances, as to be said. Callum Patterson hit the post in the second half. Darren Barry's now sent off, had a flicked header which went wide. And Jamie McDonald, he's had to beat away a couple of efforts, but it hasn't been an overly busy night for either goalkeeper.
Everything we said at the start of the programme about how level the teams were, how tight it's going to be, is coming to fruition. We said if you're a betting man, you wouldn't pick an odds-on certainty in this one. And that's the way it's turning out, but United certainly have the chance now to capitalise on it and go on and win the tie.
Halloween in the city of Discovery. And it's a cup tie that remains in the balance.
You see the way they've shaped up now. Patterson, who was playing up front, now plays on the right-hand side. Scott Robinson in the central area with Tau.
Great ball, brilliantly taken down by Gunning as well. He hits the corner. It would have been interesting to see where that cross was going to end up. It is a corner.
Well, with Hearts only having one player up front, you can get your full-backs forward all night. You can see there, Gavin Gunning high up the pitch. But good defending. Knocks it for the corner though.
Johnny Russell thought that was coming straight to him. He's among the tangerine jerseys waiting, but it was a poor delivery from Mackay-Steven. Mackay-Steven, great skill. Now he's on his bike, and it comes. And away by Granger. Hearts under the cosh. But now they're on the attack. Swift counter. Arvidas Novikovas from Robinson. What can Novikovas do here? Well, he waited too long. Still he's on the ball. It's only Sutton really in the middle. Down in numbers, of course. Novikovas does win the corner kick. It's a bonus for him.
He's got to be more direct and do it early. I think we've got to credit Sean Dillon, showing experience. I'm not going to commit. I'm going to hold him up, try to get numbers back behind me. He does that, but I think when Novikovas gets that situation, he's got to take him on, just go direct at him, drag it one way and just hit it early. What a chance for Hearts.
7 minutes to go. United 1, Hearts 1. Granger's corner kick for the 10 men. Cherzniak committed himself. Slightest flick onto it. Towel. Back to front for Hearts. Rankin. He's kept it in, but he's kept it in for Hearts only. It's McGowan away. Long from McGowan. Sutton, who scored very late against Ross County at the weekend. 2-2 draw at Tynecastle. Willow Flood. Richie Ryan. Armstrong. Rankin. Brought by McGowan. Hearts with everyone behind the ball. John Daly. It looked like there was too much on it, and there was.
See, that sort of ball ain't going to work. They get 2 backs of 4. They're still a tall, physical team. I think Dundee United have got to find little pockets, get Gary Mackay-Steven on it, see if they can get this man Russell in it and on the ball and play through them nice and sharp and incisive. But as soon as they revert to the long ball, I don't think it's hurting Hearts. I think they'll be quite happy with that. Maybe this man will be able to do that.
Keeping him for extra time. We're only 5 minutes plus stoppage time away from that becoming reality. John Sutton. It's good play by John Sutton. He's found Novikovas. United players swarming around the Hearts number 18. Inverness Caledonian Thistle have got a second goal at Ibrox. They lead Rangers by 2 goals to 0. And look as though they are heading through to the semi-finals of the Scottish Communities League Cup to join Celtic and St Mirren. And take your pick out of these two. United do have an advantage as far as playing staff on the pitch is concerned, with Darren Barr sent off. Flood. Here's Armstrong in control. Webster. Sutton. Novikovas. You would think a goal now would win it. A goal now would seal a semi-final place for one of these two. And an even Steven encounter.
Yeah, Hearts have done pretty well since going to 10. Sometimes it can be a backs to the wall job, but it's not been like that. Just got their 2 banks of 4, as I said. Nice, tall, physical back 4, handling everything that's thrown at them. There's that ball again. Sean Dillon. Use your midfield men. You've got Flood there, got Keith Watson on this side pushing up as a full-back. Richie Ryan, Rankin, try and find those pockets of space that gets it to your front men. You get Russell, Armstrong, and especially Mackay-Steven up there, but not doing that. Reverting to going route 1. It's not the way when you're 10v9 in the middle of the park.
Head tennis, and United come out with the ball. Watson. Peter Houston urging his team forward. It's Watson's ball in. Mackay-Steven will put pressure on McGowan. Got himself between man and ball. But McGowan was there and gets it clear. Sutton. Straight back to Dundee United. There's been a trait in the match. Mackay-Steven and John Rankin come together. Won't want to see that again. Oops. 2 minutes plus injury time. The regulation. Webster. Callum Murray waving away. United appeals for a free kick. Must be quite a tense period of a cup tie, this, Billy. 1-1, heading towards extra time, moving into the final minute.
Well, it is, but I think it's more tense for Hearts now. I think they're just desperate to hold out. Again, United, wrong ball for me, long diagonal playing right into Hearts' hands. I think Hearts are the team who are tense and just want to get it there, and I think they'll be doing the same in extra time. I think they'll want penalties. Might want it, obviously they'll want to nick it, but I think Hearts now just quite happy to get through to penalties and take their chance with that. But I don't think it's too tense for United. I don't think Hearts will be a threat to the end of the game. It's only a minute to go, but even since they've gone down to 10 men, I don't think they've been a threat, Hearts.
Darren Barr ordered off. Callum Patterson gave Hearts the lead in the first half, cancelled out before the break by Johnny Russell, the 6th of the season, having scored the goal that knocked out Queen of the South in the last round. Danger for Sutton. And the long balls haven't worked tonight for either team. How much stoppage time will be added on at the end? Stephen Finney's the 4th official. He's about to produce the board, and there will be just 2 minutes added on at the end. So we're 2 minutes from extra time.
4th officials indicating a minimum of 2 minutes added time. 2 minutes.
How's your nerves? Webster's free kick. John Daly and John Sutton together again. 2 centre forwards by trade. Hearts ending the regulation time on the offensive. Granger's long throw into the box. Sutton couldn't get there. Richie Ryan. And Keith Watson makes sure. Zeliukis. Final minute. Route 1 from McDonald. Again, it's Sutton and Daly. It's Daly who wins it once more. McGowan. Sutton. This time, John Sutton gets the better of it. Patterson can control. United on the counter. Will there be one last chance in this quarter-final tie? The up and under from Gunning. That's going to go all the way through. And you would think that would be about it, Billy Dodds.
Yeah, you have to say, I think Hearts have deserved to get to extra time. I don't think it's been an onslaught from United since they've gained the man advantage. So I think, yeah, Hearts will be not happy. I think they've had most of the game, but they'll be happy to get to extra time.
And that's where we're at. As it was at Pittodrie last night, Peter Houston watched his side under the caution the first half. They fell behind thanks to a goal from Callum Patterson. Johnny Russell there, levelling things up against the run of play. Since then, it's been even Stevens at Tannadice as we hurtle now towards an extra 30 minutes here on Tayside. Full time after 90 minutes. Dundee United 1, Hearts 1.
Yeah, an extra half hour to come, and maybe a penalty shootout as well. It's Hearts who've come closest to settling it in regulation time with that Callum Patterson hook shot which came back off the post. But now the Tynecastle team down to 10 men for extra time. So Craig Levine, is it advantage Dundee United?
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you? I mean, there's signs towards the end of that half that the Hearts players were starting to get tired, particularly Novikova. So he'd been the biggest threat for Hearts all evening. But he made a couple of runs just out in front of us here, and he looked as if he was exhausted. So they're going to have to dig deep. United have got the advantage of the extra man, but if they don't pass the ball quickly with a high tempo, that sometimes that extra man gets lost. You know, you've seen situations yourself where the 10 men can hold out against 11, but you would have to think that United are slight favourites just now.
Logic would say 11 against 10 going into this extra half-hour part, but how often does football go the other way around?
Well, it does go the other way around. I mean, Hearts would probably accept the penalty kicks right now. I agree completely with Craig, the fact that tiredness is a big factor for Hearts players already. I agree, Novakovic is running through memory and nothing much else just now. There you see Tao getting his calves rubbed, which shows you he's saying that he's getting exhausted as well. Craig's just said there you need to get passing sharp, get it moving quick. It'd be a good idea to pass to your own team as well, and that's been a big problem for me in the second. I think the quality's been really poor for large parts of this second half. The players got to do better than that. And if you've got 11 against 10, widen the park as much as you can. Get the opposition running, get them moving. Eventually a gap will appear, but it's using your head and it's keeping good position while you move it quickly. And I don't think, I've not seen enough of that from Dundee United yet, but they have got good enough players to do it. And that's exactly what the manager will be saying to them just now, I think.
We said right at the start, Craig, that this script might have the name of Rudolf Skatchel in it somewhere, and it still might.
Yeah, well, the scene is set, isn't it? And to come on against his old club and score the winner, I mean, his composure might help United at this stage of the match. I think there's one or two of the players haven't quite been at their best. You've got young Mackay-Steven coming back from a long injury, and he just looks like he's going to take a little bit of time to get himself back up to full speed. I think that when you're young like that, it's more difficult to turn it on. Rudy Skatchel hasn't played a lot of football this year, but he's got experience, and I think he would handle this.
But the other thing I would say about Skatchel, where does Skatchel like to play? He likes to play in that little gap between the centre backs and the sort of deepest midfield player. Who's been sent off? Barr's been sent off. You're too right, it's all set up for him. It couldn't be more set up for him just now. So we'll see if he's brought on.
Well, there's the man we've been talking about, Rudy Skatchel. Will he have a part to play? It wouldn't be the biggest surprise of the night if he was to come on and do the business. I've been really impressed in regulation time, Craig, with Callum Patterson. He's been here, there and everywhere. He's scored, he's hit the post. He's been a constant problem for Dundee United.
Yeah, it was a thorn in United's side the last time the teams met when Hearts won 3-0. And he's continued that tonight. I mean, it was a touch unfortunate not to get the second goal with his hooked shot. And I don't credit him with running about, because as a 17-year-old getting a chance to play with Hearts, I would expect every player to want to burst a gut for their team. So yeah, that for me should be expected. But he's tried ever so hard. He showed signs and flashes of real quality. And it's just whether Hearts have got can dig deep enough to try and.
He's not run out of gas yet either, which is a good thing.
An extra Halloween half hour. Back to Billy and Liam.
Yep, thanks Rob, thanks guys. Who knows which way this is going? It will be Hearts to get the extra time period underway. And having led and having looked like the better side in the opening half an hour or so, suddenly they're underdogs, down to 10 men. But it wouldn't be the first time a side reduced in numbers have come out on top in a match. Fans of both clubs have enjoyed victories in the National Cup competition. In recent times, the Scottish Cup. United beating Ross County in 2010. Hearts beating, who was it again? This year at Hampden. But the League Cup has been a source of frustration for both clubs. Long from Chersniak. Russell. And Gary Mackay-Steven in behind McGowan. Awkward for Zayukas. I think I heard Craig Levine mention the intensity. If Dundee United have the intensity, then it's right that they're considered favourites.
Yeah, on the ball they have to move it quickly. Pat said it, give width, make the pitch big. make Hearts. I think this suits Hearts, so I think the one thing that United can't do is just keep lumping it. There have been too many long balls. I think they have to play through them. I think because naturally the two banks of four will leave Sutton up front himself, but the two banks of four will go and sit deep now, and you've got to play through them and try to slide it and move it quickly. And I think that's why you would think now it would suit somebody like Rudy Scatchell to come on and be the intelligence to finally break that Hearts resistance down.
Well, he's making his way towards the dugout with a bit of intent. I just wonder, he starts to peel off the gloves, whether Rudy Scatchell will be with us shortly. Well, when he arrived at the club last week, it was a surprise signing, you have to say. The agreement was made on Thursday, announced on Friday, and he made his debut on Saturday. When that was made, he would have known Hearts were coming here on League Cup duty the following week. What a strange, strange occasion it could be for Rudy Scatchell and the Hearts fans who adore him. This is Gary Mackay-Steven. Showed too much of it to Ryan McGowan. That's frustration from Gavin Gunning as he beats the ball away. Well, it was a Dundee United throw. Well, Stephen Finney, the fourth official, stands with the board. Substitution will be made sooner rather than later. And the Hearts down to 10. Darren Barr ordered off towards the end of the 90 minutes. Away by Webster. John Rankin. He's looking for Armstrong. Cut out by Granger. Zayukas for Novi Kovas. Play between the two Lithuanians, but the less said about that, the better.
Well, he finds the energy to get in that space on the left side, but I think he's just got to turn out and try and keep his team the ball, but tries to hit the cross-come shot and gets it wildly wrong. Here he comes. Could be a Halloween heaven for him, couldn't it? Come on and score the winner, but then again, if they get to penalties, Liam, it could be the old Halloween horror as well, when they could go and probably take a penalty and miss it. So it could go either way for Scatchell, but the way the game's going, you could think he's the one that could finally find the key to getting through this Hearts rearguard.
Well, he's replaced Richie Ryan, and Rudy Scatchell, 48 goals for Hearts in total. 3 of those came in Scottish Cup finals, 1 in 2006, 2 against Hibs in May. And in a very strange situation, Rudy Scatchell comes on for Dundee United with the number 51 on his back, which he's been open about on social networking sites, as saying it's a tribute to that Hearts victory against Hibs in May. He comes on wearing the tangerine of Dundee United to wild acclaim from the Hearts fans. Not sure how much longer that's going to last. Callum Patterson. Good strong play from Patterson. He wins the free kick as well. And John Rankin with the challenge, and it is a yellow card for Rankin.
Yeah, he's forced to bring him down, but good energy from Patterson. Tired lad, he's worked up front, got his goal, hit the post, found himself in a wide area, but still finds that energy to get on the ball, shift himself to about, what is it, 30 yards. But a chance certainly for Granger, Novi Kovas too, all there.
Hearts free kick. Novi Kovas fancies it. Danny Granger just leaving the scene just now. It'll either be Novi Kovas with the left or Towell with the right. It is Novi Kovas!
It's a good strike, isn't it? Gets the laces through it, tries to get it moving. I think Chesniak's always got it covered.
Good hit though, as Andrew Driver comes on for Hearts. At least he will be. He's going to replace Novi Kovas, so that's his last action of the cup tie. Free kick which flashed past Chesniak's left-hand post, and Andrew Driver, who was dropped from the starting lineup for tonight's game. We'll get the extra time period, and who knows, perhaps a penalty and a shootout as well. Not a bad replacement, has to be said.
Yeah, he was running an empty, the boys were saying it, but I mean, he's had a good game. Faded out a little bit in the second half, but been a lot of work, Novikovas, and couldn't have a better replacement, could you? Good energy, good legs, technique, something that Hearts desperately need at this moment. Andy Driver.
So 1-1 here at Tannadice. Last night, Celtic beating St Johnstone by 5-0. Chris Commons with a hat-trick. Aberdeen going out at the hands of St Mirren on penalties at Pittodrie. Could this one go to penalties? It's Mehdi Taoul. And I can tell you, at Ibrox, it is Rangers 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 3. Graham Shinney with a penalty kick. We here at Ibrox. Inverness thumping Rangers at Ibrox. And there's about 12 minutes to go there, so it has to be said. Inverness Caledonian Thistle looking like a shoe-in for the draw for the semi-finals, and will join Celtic and St Mirren. And it could be a while before we find out who's going to go through in this tie. The extra time has not started brightly at all for either team.
Yeah, it's tight again. Right along the line, he's got to be looking, but maybe just strayed a little bit early. Doesn't have to, he's got good pace, Mackay Stephen. But Hearts will be the happier, no doubt. It sort of suits him, you know, we spoke about it again, didn't we? Pre-match. It's that solid back four, and it seems to suit them. Just sit there, soak it up, strong defensively, and then if they can nick, there's a bonus.
Scatchell, first heel touch. Almost finds Johnny Russell. Webster was calm. Dillon. Into Watson, he's under pressure from Driver though. They've not, certainly yet, been able to ram home the numerical advantage, Dundee United, have they?
No, I really don't think they've played it in the right manner, whether it was the width Pat was talking about the pace of the pass and Craig was talking about, but I just think they've gone long a lot when it could have been zipped about and get into key players who can cut them wide open. They've not passed through the Hearts rearguard. They like it, just floated into them, going challenge and dominate in the air.
Poor ball from Keith Watson for Willow Flood. A bit of afters as well. Flood in on Robinson. Five minutes of the first period of extra time to go. Watson. Dillon. That's for Gunning, and that is a terrific pass. Gavin Gunning. And that was the exact opposite. Onto the roof of the shed.
To be fair to him, he gets himself forward, and it's a good diagonal. It's quickly done, so it releases him. I think he's just going to put it in that corridor of doubt, isn't he? 6-yard box, low, just fizz it in there. See what happens. Sometimes defenders can stick it in their own net, strikers can gamble, knock it in, but they ain't going to score with top of the stand, that's for sure.
Very scrappy first period of extra time. Hearts, of course, back in the city of Discovery at the weekend. They faced Dundee just down the road at Dens. Dundee United host Celtic. No free kick, United will play on. Flood finds Scatchell. Option on the left, and Mackay-Steven, if he can find him. He got it through between the two Hearts players. The offside flag was up in any case.
Yeah, it was offside, Liam, but it's exactly what I'm talking about. Those little areas. Thread it into him, you'll see him, he'll pick it up here. You can see he's looking just to get it in between. Mackay-Steven should know better. He's just been caught offside. Just goes early again, but that's where you want Scatchell. That's where you want the ball for United, because you can see he was threading Mackay-Steven through.
Sutton. Robinson. Granger. Going back the way. Webster. Peter Houston and John McGlynn. The more minutes that pass, the more tense this gets. At the moment, you'd have to say John McGlynn and Hearts will be the happier.
But it's been comfortable, hasn't it? McDonald not had a save to make, so I think that says it all.
To be fair, Billy, Hearts just, you know, in recent history have been very strong defensively, haven't they? Even when they have been asked to play matches when they've gone down to 10 men.
Yeah, even when they've got 11, they seem to play well in bigger games against bigger teams, Hearts. In the face of adversity, and they've done that here again. They look totally comfortable here.
Watson. Too long for Scatchell. He's come back from adversity, Peter Houston, has to be said. There were people questioning his position at the club last season, and then about this time last year, in fact, they went on a terrific run after that. They've been notoriously slow starters for a few seasons, Dundee United. And Peter Houston, 132 competitive games in charge of United before tonight. Replacing Craig Levine, who's in the studio this evening with us. Peter Houston didn't even want the job. Here he is, nearly 3 years on. Gary Mackay-Steven. Flood. Well into the final minute of the first period of extra time. Last chance perhaps, in this half anyway. Watson's ball in, beaten away, and Daly gives it straight to Tyrrell. 1 minute of stoppage time being added on. The end of Hearts can take advantage of this. Driver going after it, Chersniak is out. Zaliukas. And that's the keepers. Still nothing between them. Watson. Flood. Rankin. Well, he showed too much of it. John Rankin to Ryan McGowan. He was strong in the tackle. Looping a wee bit as well, the Aussie. John Rankin. Too much. Will Armstrong made a good fist of it. The flag was up in any case.
Yeah, comfortable again, Hearts. I'd like to see, as much as I'm saying, get it to the men who can thread it through. I think the men that can thread it through are playing too high up. Gary Mackay-Steven, Scatchell and Stuart Armstrong. And so they have to stagger. You know, one has to be high up, the other one drops off, but it's not happened at half-time now in the extra time. But United have to stagger those runs, get it into those key men who can split defences open, but they've not done that so far in half-time and extra time. It's Hearts who are still comfortable.
Yeah, Dundee United 1, Hearts 1. As you can see there, Patterson on 20, Russell 15 minutes afterwards, 10 before the interval. and there's been nothing between the teams ever since. Hearts started the brighter in the match. They got their goal and looked comfortable. United got the equaliser out of nothing really. Johnny Russell stabbing home, he got the break of the ball. He came off Michael Gardine, back off a Hearts defender, ricocheted into the path of Johnny Russell. And he was able to toe poke it home. Rudy Scatchell came on early in the first period of extra time. Hearts legend over 2 spells. He was always better in home games, Rudy Scatchell, at Tynecastle. This is home for him now, at least till the end of January, but probably won't feel like it yet. Marius Zalukis, who has had to rally his troops, of course, after Darren Barr's sending off towards the end of the 90 minutes. And the second period of extra time's underway. And if there's no goals in the next 15 minutes, we've got a penalty shootout here. A lottery, they call it. Gary Mackay-Stephen gunning. And Zalukis clears, only as far as Rankin. Works some space, deflected. McDonald spells, Scatchell saved, and then just down on this near side, up goes the flag.
That was a moment, wasn't it? Rankin kind of shuffles it, gets his strike away. It's a good save by Jamie McDonald down to his left-hand side. So it's just a ball in, but again, head of Zalukis knocks it clear, but he just slides it to the left. Rankin hits it through body, good save. You can see Scatchell clearly offside, but he thought that was the moment he was going to come back and haunt his old club.
Well, Dundee United look as though they're going to bring off John Daly. Now, I just wonder if he's got to knock John Daly, because you would have thought in a penalty shootout he would be absolutely crucial.
I think I saw him the both periods at the end of the game, and then half-time and extra time they were giving his hamstrings a good rub, maybe just protecting him. He's been injured a lot, so don't want to lose him again for big chunks. An important player for United, as you've seen tonight, playing in defence, but vital up front as well, John Daly, so just maybe make sure they don't lose him.
Brian McLean on. Started at Rangers, he was there for 5 years but didn't get into the first team. Went to Motherwell, 4 years there. That horrible knee injury, I seem to remember, kept him out for the whole season. Spells at Falkirk and Preston after that, and he's on to replace John Daly.
Gunning going back into his natural centre-half now. No, sorry, as in it's McLean who's going into centre-half.
Yeah.
Dylan and McLean centre-half, Gunning staying left back.
Well, here, if this does go to a penalty shootout, they'll be taken away to the right in front of the Eddie Thompson stand. Granger. Driver. That nicked off him by Dillon. It's the armband now. Rankin. It's it back from Gunning. Good ball. Armstrong. Watson. He get his right foot round it. Away by Zalukis. Flood. Rankin. Eddie Towell taking a while to get back to his feet.
I think he's finished.
He's back up now, but he's limping heavily. John Rankin slipping it through for Gunning. Away by Zalukis.
Yeah, Scatchell peeling off, but again, it's those threaded passes I'm talking about. Releases Gunning. Zalukis being a rock, and he just puts it away. Towell, when he went down with the challenge with Keith Watson, he turned round and he signalled to the bench right away.
Well, Hearts are definitely making a change, and you'd think it would be Towell. He's going to be the player who's going to come off. And they're going to bring on Dylan McGowan, our Hearts, the younger brother of Ryan. Third substitute appearance of the season.
This is a challenge. Watson wins it, but lands awkwardly. I don't know if it's just a bit of cramp. I know he's landed awkwardly, but he got up and he ran again, so just think muscles tired again, taking no chances, don't want to lose him through injury. Decent game. Eddie Toole.
Dylan McGowan, Australia under-20 international. On he comes. It's finished at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Inverness Cali Thistle 3. St Inverness joining St Mirren and Celtic in the hat for the semi-final draw. Will it be Dundee United or Hearts who'll join them? It's Rudy Scatchell. Gets it back. He's willing to get the shot away. Scatchell. Held on by McDonald. Still over 10 minutes left of football, because penalty shootout is a total lottery.
Yeah, something you know, always know he's going to back in. As soon as the arms comes up, you're going to get the free kick. Again, they've hardly been up the park since the man was sent off, but certainly an opportunity here from set piece.
Yeah, big men up, of course. Rangers free kick. It's headed back across. Czerniak got onto it and managed to somehow claw it away. Might have hurt himself in the process as well, Radoslav Czerniak. We'll keep an eye on him. United have made all 3 of their changes.
Yeah, he was brave, he did enough. Came through bodies. I think Callum